Yes, y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 379 up in here. Yes, sir. It's your boy, Gabe Patillo, with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games, and we are winding it on down on 2019.
Whoosh.
It's almost over, y'all.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yep. See ya.
Yes, seriously. I don't know when in the last, let's see, how long has social media really been around? 12 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Let's just guesstimate.
Sure.
Something
Sure.
around there. I don't feel like there's been a year since social media has been around that somebody's been like, shoot, whatever year it is, 2019, sad to see you go. Wish we could have had some more time together.
Right.
Everybody's like, nah, man, onward and
See
upward,
ya.
get 2019 behind us.
Right?
Yeah, I don't remember anybody
Do you?
waxing poetic trying to stay in the previous year.
Agreed.
Ed Placencia,
Yes, sir.
you trying to stay in the previous year, doggy?
Not this year.
Exactly, see? Just as I thought.
A couple of years ago, I was like, oh, can we please just have one more year? But not recently, no.
Not this one, Bishop.
That's right.
What else is going on with you?
It's been a good week. Sarah and I have just been chilling. We had another nice, quiet weekend, which was really good. And the other night, Sarah said, I want to play a game. What should I play?
Yeah.
And I said, oh man, because she had just finished Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I said, well, let me slide in this Uncharted Lost Legacy and see what you think. And doggone, if she is not tearing through that game.
Really?
Nice.
She is loving it, which of course just broadens my options. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, here's the entire Uncharted series.
Exactly. Okay, I'm going to need you
Great.
to sit down.
Right.
Next thing you know, Sarah's 300 pounds has lost her Beachbody endorsements.
And it's kind of fun because I didn't realize how many times I've played the Lost Legacy. And so when she was playing it, she didn't really say much, but after a while she was like, oh yeah, I fight this guy on a bridge later, right? I was like, yeah, you do.
Oh, that's hilarious. She just remembers.
Exactly. But it's been really fun just to kind of live that through her eyes and just, see her, because she usually only likes to play multiplayer games. And the new Borderlands DLC drops tomorrow, so we'll be all over that. But in the meantime, it's been fun watching her kind of enjoy a game I really enjoyed too.
You know what's funny? That you say that about the whatever it's called, DLC for tomorrow. I got a Twitch notification today.
Yeah, you did.
And I was so excited for you.
So was I.
Yeah, exactly. It was like Ed streaming and we're in Borderlands 3 new DLC dropping today. I was like, ooh, clicky click click.
Oh man, I clickbaited everybody on that one by accident.
Yeah, I was like,
you put the wrong thing on there.
I was
early?
like, man, this DLC looks a lot like Far Cry 3 still.
Yeah, well, I genuinely thought it dropped today, and because I'm like, at first I thought it dropped Tuesday because it's Tuesday, it's release day.
Okay.
And then it didn't, and I was like, oh, it must be Wednesday. It sure was. It's going to be on Thursday. And so what really burned me is that I went into the game, and on the map, the DLC, the location to go to the DLC is there. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's here. Let's do this. And I put it in there and I went to the DLC spot and it's like, you need to buy this before you can play it. And I was like, what? I have the season pass. Oh, you release tomorrow? Oh, I'm sorry.
Did it say that in the game? Did it mention the actual release date?
No, it just said you need to own this in order to play it. And that's why I was at first really confused. And then I went online and I was like, oh, well.
You're
I guess
being
we're playing
jerks.
You're being jerks, and I just lied to everyone.
But it did give you a great opportunity to beat one of your top 10 games of the decade.
Well, I that's right. I've been playing through. I've decided I was going to play through my top 10 games of the decade. Most of the games on there are pretty long, so it'll take me into early June, I think. But yeah, this was the final day of Far Cry 3. I did beat it, but I did not remember today's stream was a struggle. I didn't remember struggling, and I was playing it on baby mode today.
Oh man!
And I was struggling, and I in a fit of rage, I said, "You're not on my top 10 list anymore, Beat Saber. You were 11. Swap places."
Oh, really?
Oh, I like that
just
turn
like
of
that.
events.
So that's what they get for me not being a very good video game player.
Oh,
Wow.
that's hilarious.
Take that, Far Cry.
I didn't realize, Vaz was one of my favorite characters of the decade. I didn't realize how soon he dips out of the game.
Yeah, he's not there for long,
not
even though
at
he's on
all.
the cover.
Yeah, yeah. He's just, which tells you what a good character he was.
Exactly.
That you remember him as the main dude or whatever.
Yes.
But so yeah, it's been a lot of fun playing through Far Cry again, and it was a lot of fun. I did enjoy it, and it was, you're always nervous when you revisit a game that you enjoyed, especially one that came out in 2012.
Yep.
And it did hold up nicely. It was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it. And I played a lot differently than I did originally, which really surprised me. I didn't use a bow and arrow once.
What?
That's my jam.
Well, that was mine as well. And
What'd you do?
But I just used a sniper rifle.
There you go. Yep.
The whole game too is what's funny. It was like a sniper rifle and a shooty shoot.
Yep.
Pew pew pew.
Nice. That's it.
By the end of the game, when I had all 4 weapon slots, I didn't even carry a bow and arrow with me.
Oh, that's
That is
awesome.
so funny.
So it was fun. We had a good time, and we really enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to Borderlands 3 tomorrow.
Really looking forward to getting into some Beat Saber.
I know, right?
You got to start your list over again.
Exactly. Like, let's play a little Green Day, and we'll get out of here real quick. I did download the Green Day update for
Nice.
Beat Saber, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's smaller than I would like, considering there was an entire Green Day Guitar Hero rock band game.
Oh, there was? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
And Ed, don't you feel like I feel like both bands got shortchanged? Like even when they did the Imagine Dragons ones, I was like 6 songs. I was like, Imagine Dragons got like at least 10 songs that we all know.
And it's funny too, because I didn't know I knew that many Imagine Dragons songs until I played them. And I was like, oh yeah. So I was because at first I was like, I don't even know these guys. And then each one was a happy surprise. Panic at the Disco, I think, is like 4 songs. It's
What?
Yeah, it's
That Joker
really,
can freaking sing.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I don't remember
Did
his
he ever?
name. What's his name?
I have no idea.
Mr. Panic.
Yeah, Mr. Disco.
Yeah.
Mr. Disco.
That Joker's voice is so good. Good live too. Oh man,
Yeah.
got a great voice.
And so with Green Day only having 6 songs or whatever, it's and 2
What
of them
the
I think
heck?
are new. So it's just like, oh man, okay.
Ed,
but
so you used to be in the music industry.
Mhm.
Do you think that these artists are sticking it to Beat Saber because they're so popular? Because there's no reason, especially Green Day with their 20-year plus history, should only
Right.
have 6 games. I mean, 6
Yeah.
songs in this game. Do you think they're just like cranking them for the money or something?
I can't for the life of me figure it out unless from Beat Saber's side it's at the I can't even imagine them being like, we can't afford more than that. I'm sure they can.
I just don't get it.
I don't know why they would, because again, they had
Is there a limit?
Green Day had a video game with like every album and every song on the album on there, and so I don't know why it's so limited. I don't understand it.
I don't either.
It was kind of disappointing, but
I bet Beat Saber's like, Billy Joe, we'd really love to have you on Beat Saber. And he's like, aren't y'all owned by Facebook?
that's true, right?
They got some pockets, right?
Yeah.
Pony up.
Exactly.
Maybe that's what it is, man. That sucks, though.
But that doesn't make any sense, that way of thinking about it when it comes to Imagine Dragons or any of the other ones, because they didn't own them then.
Right.
So who knows?
So, yeah.
Who knows? There's got to be a reason.
Yeah, I don't understand what that is. I don't know if they think 6 is enough because most people want like more of the dancey techno-y songs and this is more rock and roll. I don't know what they thought.
But don't you think it's more, because I agree with that when you're playing Beat Saber. But when you're introducing artists, I think you just want the freaking hits. Like I'd play Taylor Swift on Beat Saber.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Just give it. I'll feel 22 all day long till I'm sweating into my eyeballs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is there a limit that Beat Saber has? Like, are there like full albums of other artists? Or
No,
is
there's
this-
not.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, this is only the 3rd artist like known artists that they've had like a music pack of. The rest of
the officially licensed stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer just because again, the first Beat Saber songs were amazing and I think they're great songs, but I feel like they've struggled to with their original songs to kind of match up to that. They're still good, but they're not that first group of songs good. So yeah, if they're not going to do hit songs, they got to do their own hit songs. But again, it was
literally because you hit them with
exactly.
the saber.
You strike them and hit them and right in the center.
You saber them
90
every time.
degrees.
90 degrees they introduced.
90 all the way through, down.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it was fun. I in the spirit of Jedi Fallen Order, where I restarted from the beginning and gave it another shot. I've been playing a heck of a lot of Control.
Control.
And
in control. Anyway,
I like it. I don't know.
Somebody in your chat asked us what song that was.
That
Remember?
was funny.
They were like, "What's that Control song you keep saying?" I was like, "What? Get out!"
Yeah,
that's right.
We need an age limit up in this chat.
You're fired.
Yeah. I don't get it. But yeah, I don't know if I have a different loadout than I did the last time. I'm definitely doing my skill tree much different.
Okay.
And I'm really far into it. I think I'm almost done.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, there are a couple of side
What is
missions.
going on? Where are we at? This is crazy. This is crazy talk.
I know. I got to a boss and I was like, oh man, this is one that took me like an hour and a half last time. And third try, I beat him. And I was like, what?
Wow.
I think it's the loadout. There were a couple of side missions that I really struggled with the last time that I didn't even bother with. I'm just kind of mainlining the story and then maybe I'll go back. I don't know if you can go back and do side missions after the story's done. I don't know how it works. But I think tonight, before we started streaming, I think I'm at the end. I think I'm in the middle of the final boss fight.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Man.
I
Nice. Good on you.
really wanted to finish it before the end of the year so I could see where's this going to go on my top 10 games of 2019. You know, will it go up there at all? And I felt like I was enjoying it enough that I wanted to finish it. I just couldn't for whatever reason. And I think the loadout is the entire key because this time it's not easy by any means, but it's definitely easier than it was before.
So, do you believe, and I don't know if you didn't believe this before, but do you believe,
believe in that?
that,
Nice.
This just needs to be a song show. Bring on the song reference.
exactly.
Every song reference.
Yeah, where's Jamie Foxx at?
That's right.
I can name that song in one line.
Exactly.
Do you believe that it should be in the Game of the Year discussion then?
For me, yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was really, again, it wasn't a thing that I stopped because I didn't like it. It was a thing where I just couldn't get past this certain boss. And because I was enjoying it, I was enjoying the story. I was very intrigued by it. It's definitely one of those games where you read everything. There's so much backstory in there that fills in a lot of the gaps. So yeah, I think it definitely belonged in the Game of the Year discussion.
Okay.
I don't know that it should have won any of them.
Any of the awards.
At least as far as like Game of the Year, it shouldn't be like anyone. I wouldn't expect it to be anyone's Game of the Year.
Okay.
It's definitely worthy of being in the discussion. I know, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been fun, and hopefully by this time next week, I'll have a little summary on how I beat it.
We would love that.
How I beat Control.
Okay, one more question, Ed. I'm sorry. You've been talking all day on stream, but I have to ask you this one other question.
Yes.
I'm on Facebook getting the answers to the question of the week.
Okay.
And I see Ed Placencia said, new graphics card installed.
Yeah, what is this about?
And first Streamlabs test successful. Hashtag just keep swimming.
Yeah, what is that? Explain yourself, sir.
Because I am excited about the possibilities of Eduardo's stream and Streamlabs getting together.
This is why you open your Christmas presents as soon as they arrive.
Hey, baby.
Because
nice.
Sarah's dad was on my Amazon wish list.
Ooh.
And today I got the Elgato HD 60S
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
streaming things. So
Oh,
I did
my.
The old streaming thing.
the old streaming thing.
Nice.
So I did a little test, and I'm just excited to have a be right back screen. Is really all it's about.
That's really the bottom line.
So,
Yeah.
so
Really
what
the
does this
bottom line.
mean exactly? What are you? How is it? How are you utilizing it? Obviously, are you using Streamlabs OBS? Or are you using like Elgato software to do a stream thing that's giving you the access to that? Or like, what's your
Streamlabs is using the Elgato as the source.
Mhm.
And
So
and
Streamlabs OBS, right?
I
Yep.
guess it's just the Streamlabs app is what I use. I don't know if it's Streamlabs. Oh yeah, Streamlabs OBS.
It
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Nice.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So yeah. So I'm probably going to spend a lot of the weekend testing things and trying stuff out.
Wait, well, if you need a boy to come, say, just open a browser and check things out, man. Let me know.
So yeah, I'm very excited about it. I didn't expect. I use my Amazon wish list mostly as a here's things I want. I don't want to forget where they are.
Yeah, sure.
And so I was.
Yes.
It was a very nice surprise to see that show
That's
up
great,
today.
man.
Open your presents early, kids.
There you go.
I'm
I like
not
it.
allowed to. I had stuff show up and I was like, hey, Stacy, look, this came. And she's like, well, but you have to wait.
Ah,
Mm.
Dang it.
dang, that puppy's
What if
not
it's a
going to
new car?
survive.
I think
I could be driving it.
it'd be shaped in a car shape.
I know, but
You would know.
I'm just trying to make sense so I can break the door down.
Well,
There you
Christopher,
go.
keep it rolling. How's your week been? Oh, let me ask you this first.
Mhm.
You done with 2019? Are you ready to move on, or you want a little bit more
No,
time?
yeah, 2019 can go out back and
Yeah, kick
get shot.
rocks. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yep.
Adios.
Yeah. Peace out. 2020. Here we
Yeah.
go.
2019 is done.
Let's get LASIK in 2020. I think it'd be appropriate.
Right. Let's get Barbara Walters up in this piece.
Bob Walters.
Let's hear about it,
This is
Christopher.
2020. So things are just, this is the last week, well, for the most part, until a nice little break for Stacy and I. There's some back and forth on whether or not I'm going to need to come into the office on Monday. And it's looking like right now we are going to come in Monday. So technically one more day or one day from next week. But the good thing is that we've been really working hard to not only get ourselves in a good spot so that we can take off the time, but we're at a point now where we're able to jump and get a little bit ahead for when we come back so that you don't just come back and you have this quick, fast deadline right away. We'll come back and we'll be set up in a good spot
Nice.
so that we
That's
can then just kind of ease back into getting things going again. So I absolutely have been like head down all this week, but it's been great. It's not been like stressful necessarily. It's been more like, oh yeah, we're getting ahead, and that's always a really good feeling.
That's great.
Good.
This past Friday we had our first Friendsmas that we ever had. You might recall we had our first Friendsgiving.
Yes.
So we followed that up with the Friendsmas. The next one on the calendar after this one is Palentine's.
Hey.
Lord.
So it looks like we're going to do all the holidays. I just said, hey, the next one that we're hosting, I want it to be St. Patrick's Day, and I'll figure out a friendly way to say that.
Yes.
I hadn't figured it out yet.
Yep.
But Friendsmas was good. We had Stacy bought this. I don't know what the name of it was, but it was basically a card game because we all brought a different like pair of socks that were like had some weird funky theme on it or something. So it could be Star Wars or it could be a game or whatever like that.
Okay.
And they were all in a bag. And she had this card game where you have to constantly swap it around, and you would play this game that would move everything around and move things along. It was actually a lot of fun. I wish I remember what the heck the name of it was, because if you're one of those people that does like a Secret Santa or all these little things, this would be a good way to change that up a little bit and add a new element to it. So I need to write that down next time I see it, and then I can mention it maybe next week. But that was a lot of fun. And then we followed that up with some Jackbox and some Secret Hitler, and
Nice.
just had a grand old time. It was a lot of fun. On the gaming front, kind of been a little bit of the same. Some Apex here and there, a little bit of Call of Duty here and there. I did get on and do some more Death Stranding. It's weird because I feel like I'm getting so close to the end, but I've already looked how much further I have to go, and it feels like I actually have a decent amount left. So I'm not really sure. Like, I don't know if this last little bit is going to go quick, like they're going to be much more truncated, or am I in for another like 20 hours? I don't really know.
Oh, Lord.
In terms of,
mercy.
I'm saying a just story spot, because even after I beat the story, I see myself going back and like doing some side stuff occasionally and whatnot, as time permits and whatnot.
Right.
But still having a lot of fun. I did a thing the other night when I played that was really awesome, and I can't really say anything else more about it because I want to respect Mr. Ed, who's taking his sweet time, and I don't want to ruin anything for him. I want him to figure it all out on his own. But it was cool, and I was like, oh, that's really awesome. So I was happy about that. Still looking forward to see how the story's all going to wrap up. And I'm expecting it to be a few question marks still left, but I feel like I've been hearing that it's pretty well wrapped up and most things are pretty well touched
that's
on.
good.
There's not much plot hole stuff that's left open. Occasional things like here and there, but for the most part, I'm looking for it to all get wrapped up nicely. So really just been working on that stuff. I did buy Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, good.
Nice.
I haven't jumped into it yet though. It came out yesterday. I think I remembered today and I was like, oh, it's on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, I think it's just attached with that. On the PlayStation side, I don't know for how long, but it launched on Tuesday and it's like $5 off. So I think it's $14 or $15 or something like that, if I remember right. So I wanted to get it while it was still on sale. I was going to get it on the PlayStation because it does have a platinum trophy. And so I want to get that. So that's the reason I went that route. But outside of that, it's just been mostly work stuff. And then the gaming with friends last Friday. And pretty soon the holidays will be here. And then we're going to be in Oklahoma for Christmas, but then we'll have some time where we can come back and I can just veg out and game a bunch. And I'm hoping to finish out Death Stranding and a couple of other things because I do not think that I'm going to finish Death Stranding before we head out for Oklahoma.
There you go.
Nice.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Old Tim Router.
Oh, good old Tim Router's here. How are you, everybody?
I'm
still kicking. I'm still kicking.
Yeah, you are.
Good weekend this past weekend. It was Dickens of a Christmas in downtown Franklin. So I was pretty much working most of the weekend. Lauren came back from LA Saturday late afternoon.
Oh yeah, from her funeral thing.
From Dabney's mom's funeral. Everything went really well. And it was really great for her to be able to just kind of be with her bestie and all the girls out there. And, I think it was a nice break for her. And so that went really well. So yeah, Sunday we were at Dickens for a little bit, and then just been trying to tie up some loose ends at work, and so that's going well. Tomorrow is Piper's last day of school. She has a half day.
Yep.
And so it'll be fun. We're gonna try and do some just fun stuff during the break, which is mostly probably have play dates, maybe go see some movies and just kind of relax. We are not going anywhere this Christmas, this holiday. So we will be vegging out after actual Christmas Day. And I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Man, I got my ticket Friday night for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
Let's go.
So I'm going with my brother and my nephew. They invited me. They're like, hey, let's go grab something to eat. And then we got the 8:00 on Friday night. So let's go. I'm like, I'm in. Let's do this. I cannot wait. And so it's gonna be a lot of fun. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just trying to help Lauren out with some Christmas card orders to helping her cut. After work, and we were staying late this evening at the store. And so thank you guys for pushing back just a little bit because I got home at like 9:45. Ate some Sonic real quick, and here I am. So I'm nice belly full of Sonic hamburger, which is amazing. And there we have it. On the gaming front, all right, here we go. After initially playing for 5 hours of Bloodborne from the stream and then from last week, I noticed I have to work a little bit harder to kind of kill some of these dudes. And I was not progressing to where I was progressing before at all.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even getting to where I was before.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, I just keep getting killed, and I was getting frustrated. And so I just hopped on YouTube and watched what am I missing here?
Yes.
And I noticed it's there were a couple guys that they were just one hit kills and they're done. I'm like, all right, that's it. So I ended up starting the game over. And sure enough, that was the case. So over time, if you don't get past that first boss and you can't upgrade your weapons, they lose damage over time. Now,
wow, I didn't know that.
I didn't either. And plus I had a heck of a long time doing it. I just kept doing it over and over and over again.
Yes.
So for 5 hours. So if you don't upgrade and you can't get to that, your weapons slowly diminish over time. So where was that little nugget there from software? I would have loved to have heard to have that before, but it made more sense just to be like, you know what? I'm not getting anywhere. Let's just reset. And so I started a new game and I beat the first boss.
Nice.
I am on to the second boss and I am loving this game.
Wow.
Look at that, man.
The most challenging game I've ever played, but I want to keep going with it. And I'm the next boss is Father Gaston or something like that.
Do you want a tip
on him?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so I've almost got him. I've been like I have been 1 or 2 strikes away from
that's
getting
frustrating.
him. And it's one of those things where I'm working on that combination of gun stunning and then the kill, because that does a ton of damage. And sometimes I nail it and sometimes I don't. And the times that you don't, he makes you pay for it. And that's usually when I die. But man, it's great. I'm having a good time with it. And thanks to everybody in the community too. Sean Capri hit me up, that saucy little Canadian, and said, "Hey, dude, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you're playing this, because now you can kind of loop into everything. You can go out, get blood echoes, come back, upgrade your stuff, and just kind of keep that loop going." I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. I didn't even think about that. So once I get past this next boss, that's pretty much what I'm going to do. But I've been exploring the world a little bit, went down in the sewers and like doing all kinds of fun stuff.
Did you find the pig?
Found the pig, haven't battled the pig. I was waiting on the pig. But he doesn't look that difficult based on
There's a way to cheese the pig.
Oh, really?
That's how I beat the pig.
Well, there you go. Would it involve like a Molotov cocktail or something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I can go it over with you later.
Okay, cool. No spoilers. I want to be surprised. But man, this game has been kind of in the back of my mind ever since it was free on PlayStation Plus. I'm like,
yeah,
everybody's been talking about this game. I've never played a From Software. I've never played any of those type of games before. Let's go for it. And as frustrating and as long as drawn out as this been, like I'm still enjoying it and really like I want to keep going and until I'm like really burned out from it. And that could happen or it could not. I don't know. A lot of people are saying, hey, once you're this far, I think you can keep going. So I'm encouraged by that. And yeah, it'll be awesome. So that is, man, it's just Bloodborne, man. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah,
I know.
And I'm
That's
really
crazy,
digging
dude.
it. But yeah, I'm super happy. And honestly, once the reset happened, I was just like, okay, that explains a lot, because I was like super frustrated with, what am I doing wrong? I've done this so many times. I know exactly what to do, but these guys aren't dying.
Yep.
And then once that happened, I was like, boom, one click, done, and I'm moving on. So
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, it was good. So that's that and Clash Royale, of course, and that's it for me.
I like it.
Nice, man.
What you got, Mr. Patillo?
Woo! I mean, it is cold outside.
Yeah, it is. You know
Yeah.
it's going to be 60 on Christmas Day, though.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think so.
Of course it is.
Of course.
And so, the joke is, especially for gamers, this is why I always tell the guys on the road, whether it's raining or it's beautiful, it's always a nice day for video games, right?
Yeah.
So you look outside, you're like, man, look at the sun shining, man. It's a perfect day for video games. Then you look outside,
Right.
it's raining and sleeting and snowing. You're like, oh, man, look at it outside. Oh, I'm sure this looks like a perfect day for video games.
Yeah.
That's right.
The other thing it's perfect for, especially in this season,
Mm-hmm.
is Christmas movies.
Oh.
Yes.
I
That's
mean,
what
right?
I've heard.
I
Yes.
don't know
that.
which ones to watch.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I'm kind of struggling with that myself.
Ooh.
It's like, oh, what do I watch exactly? I picked up a couple just to see like kind of what was going on, but I just didn't know. And listen, you guys are my brothers. And I was like, let me just take it to the family and we can figure this out.
We are here to
Okay.
help.
Okay. All right. Let me see. What's this first one I have here? All right. Sarah has always been a true romantic.
Oh.
Hence her favorite Christmas tradition, building her annual snow bow. Snowman.
Oh.
With her
Snow
best
bow?
friend, Nick. Yeah, her snow bow.
You know, like Hunger Games bow. That kind of
Oh,
bow.
okay.
Bow. Beau.
Oh, like a boyfriend.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm like, Christmas bow. Why is she making bows?
Snow bow.
Okay.
Bow. Okay.
Maybe
Or
that's how you
bay.
say that.
Bow
I'm
or
old.
bay.
I'm
Either
old.
one.
Is that how they spell bay? That's not how it's spelled,
No.
bay.
No, that's not how
it's
spelled.
Yeah, it's not. Anyway, after
sorry.
another breakup right before the holidays,
Of course.
Sarah begins to wonder if she'll ever find true love of her own.
Right?
When a little Christmas magic brings her snow bow to life
What?
as the romantically perfect Cole. Sarah must decide whether to pursue the romance she's always dreamed of or the true love that has been right in front of her all along. 2017's Snowmance.
No way.
Stupid.
That is amazingly awful.
Snowmance.
Snowbio.
Snow Bay.
All right, that's one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
And I haven't heard of any of these people in this movie.
All right.
So, that always kind of gets me a little off kilter.
Sure.
This next one at least has a star.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
An evil yet adorable gingerbread man comes to life with the soul of a convicted killer.
What?
This real-life cookie monster wreaks havoc on the girl who sent the killer to the electric chair.
What?
2005, starring Gary Busey,
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
There it
All
is.
right, man.
the Ginger Dead Man.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
Not my gumdrop Busey.
That's
So here's the
incredible.
problem that I'm running into.
Yeah.
Busey, all the way.
Can I read you guys something else real quick? The horrifying yet delicious and chewy Ginger Dead Man causes murder and mayhem on the set of a horrible low-budget movie set. It will take the determination of the studio's young new owner to save both his company as well as the lives of his young new friends, including a terminally ill young boy
What?
Oh no.
whose final wish it was to meet the studio's stars, the Tiny Terrors.
This sounds like a horrible Make-A-Wish.
2008's Ginger Dead Man 2, Passion of the Crust.
What are you talking about?
Well, they made a sequel.
Yeah,
That's-
and so I'm stuck right now because I've been watching Star Wars, and with Star Wars, you start at 4.
Right.
And so it's been really struggling for me so here's the problem. The Ginger Dead Man travels back in time to 1976 and carries out an epic disco killing spree.
Disco?
2011's Ginger Dead Man 3 Saturday Night Cleaver.
What?
Wow.
This is the best. You have to watch them all in one night.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah, I mean, marathon.
No,
it.
if you got to binge watch that.
So, I mean, I'm struggling here, man, because I'm shoot.
No need to struggle.
No,
It
man.
is done for you. It is written in the stars. It is written in the gingerbread
So do I start at
stars.
3? Do I start at 1?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the choices are Snowmance or the Ginger Dead trilogy.
Ginger Dead trilogy.
I mean-
Trilogy all the way, man.
Yeah. To quote one of my favorite shows of all time, I'm with Busey.
Oh, so good.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that these are
I
even
can.
options.
Wow.
Amazing.
I don't know what's going on right now. On the gaming front, I have been playing.
Hey, all right. Nice segue.
I ran into some bad news this week, guys.
Oh no.
On the gaming front.
you gotta stop.
I think, yeah. My wife says I can't play any more video games.
It happens.
I think I lost my Switch.
Wait, what? Lost
What?
it?
I know.
What do you mean?
How'd that happen?
This is the only thing I can think.
Oh boy.
So when I went to do the ADR session, remember Stancil was there and Stancil was working as well. Well, I had the morning session when somebody else had the afternoon session. And so while they were doing their thing, because he was like, hey, you can stay if you want. And I was like, I'm not gonna be like the creeper back in the corner, like, oh, this is how other people do it. So I was like, let me just go and I'll fill my time. So one of the things I did was I went down to Santa Monica Pier. I'd never been to Santa Monica Pier before. And so I was like, oh, let me go down to Santa Monica Pier and hang out. I was there for like 2 hours, just taking it in. It was a nice, cool day. And there was a lot of people down there for being a Tuesday or whatever it was. And so I got to see the street performers and listen to a terrible rendition of Hallelujah. And so
As you would.
Yeah. As they are. And so I was sitting there and I'm killing time and blah, 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 blah. I was like, all right, let me get up out of here. I can't stay anymore. And I was like, oh, well, I got my Switch in the car. I'll go park up at the hotel and just freaking play some Switch. And so as I was playing, I'm playing, then Jason texted me. He's like, hey, we're wrapping up. If you want to come grab me, we'll go grab some dinner and then we'll head up to Burbank. I was like, cool. This is what I think happened. As I was putting all my stuff away, I either let the Switch fall into the floorboard, which I think Jason would have felt, or I put it in like the driver's side thing because it's so narrow, and then just never got it. And
so you think you
car.
lost it, not that it was stolen?
Yeah, I don't think it was stolen. I think it's stolen now.
Right.
Because
yeah.
I think it was in the car and I rented from Fox Rental and I have blown them up trying to just get a hold of like just somebody. But like you can't call the office. And the only way you can is like by, talking to the lost and found, but they just never pick up the phone ever. And so I think my case and my games and my Switch are all just
man, I'm sorry.
Hopefully somebody's getting a good Christmas out of it.
I'm sorry to hear that. That stinks though, dude. I'm really sorry to hear that.
I know. I was freaking bummed, man. And I didn't notice until I got home. And this is all just in case. So I don't remember the first day I got home. Like I flew in, our flight was super early in the morning, flew in, went through Dallas, got home, came home, brought dinner home for everybody. We did dinner, bathed the kids. Then I came out and did the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't really remember that day. So I don't know if Remy ever asked for the Nintendo that day, but the next day, like not the Wednesday I got home, maybe not Thursday, but I think last Friday, he asked for the Switch. Like, hey, can I play? He always calls it Daddy's Nintendo. Can I play Daddy's Nintendo? And I was like, yeah, buddy. And I'm like getting in my backpack and I'm like, where's this thing at? And I was like, did I already give it to you like yesterday or the day before? Like just hand it to you while I was on the phone, like, yeah, go upstairs with it. But man, I've looked around their room and the bonus room and our room and, under the beds and I haven't found it. And so usually he knows where that stuff's at. Yeah, like he's going to know where Daddy's Nintendo is. So man, I think I lost my Switch and I'm so mad about it.
Dang, dude.
I'm so
That's
sorry.
It's just disappointing. Like I haven't lost anything in a long. I used to be that dude though. Like I used to be the guy that didn't know where his wallet was, where his keys were, and I just haven't done that in a really long time.
So here, the question then for you is, what did Jenny say?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't want to know what she said.
Oh no.
Because before I left, she said to me, why don't you leave that for Remy?
Oh,
and
no.
I said, well, baby, I got these freaking long flights and it's early and like, I'll probably sleep on the first one, but I'd love to get some gaming in on the second flight or something like that. And, that's why we bought the DSs, you know what I'm saying? So, they at least have something while I'm gone.
Oh, no.
And she was like, So when I told her, she goes, it's funny.
Oh, no.
I had said you should leave them and you always get on them for how they treat them. And here you lose it.
Oh.
I was like, you know what?
Touche.
I ain't even go. I could fight this, but it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Ed, you right. You did say leave it this time. She's never asked me to leave it.
Yeah.
Because I always just take it. It's always in my backpack.
Yeah.
Why don't you leave that for them this time? I was like, well, I'm going to play it on the plane. And I did, actually. I played it a bunch on the way out there. I just can't remember if I played it on the way back because I was so tired. I know I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the first flight. I just don't remember what I did the second flight. I probably slept.
Wow.
Coming home. Oh. So my feelings are hurt about it. Because
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Man. It happens every once in a blue.
Kills
and this
me.
was once in a blue. I think the more frustrating part of it is I buy all my stuff physical for the most part. And so, like Smash Brothers and all those games, some of those games that I had were all physical. And so, that those are in the case. So even if I bought another one, I think the only games I bought digital was Astral Chain, Mario Kart, and I think one other one. Wow. So I would have some games, but it wouldn't be like, and actually because they do actually take terrible care of it. Remember when you guys were asking me about Mario vs. Rabbids the other day and I had it sitting here on my desk and showed you the cartridge during the Game Awards?
Oh, yeah.
So I got that because that's here because they just toss my cartridges all over the place. But the doggone Nintendo is gone, I think. Oh!
Dude,
man, it's terrible.
The other follow-up question is,
yeah,
what does this do for your chances of an Oculus?
Ooh. I mean, that's really bigger and harder to misplace.
Salt in that wound there.
No, I'm just saying, I didn't know if Jenny was like, I know you've been asking for the did Jenny bring that up at all?
No, she didn't bring it up. And I mean, I would. Oh, this is gonna sound weird. At this juncture, if given the money,
right,
I think I'd go buy an Oculus before I went and bought a Switch again.
Switch,
really?
Okay.
Yeah, only because.
Is it because you feel like you've got most out of the Switch that you would really looking forward to? Like in terms of played most of the games you really want to?
I think that there's gonna be other games that come out that I'm gonna be like, ooh, I want to play that. I really did have a good time doing the what do you call them, the little cardboard that you put together with the kids.
Oh, the Labo?
Yeah, the Labo stuff. I did enjoy doing that. And there's just gonna be some things. I mean, we got they talk about Breath of the Wild 2 coming out and stuff like that. So, it just because I'm so cheap, like it just kills me to think about buying another one. Oh, gosh!
I'm so sorry, dude.
Oh, it hurts.
That's terrible.
So cheap. So y'all pray that the Lord just manifested somewhere in my house.
All right.
And that for some reason.
or that the rental company calls you back and be like, hey,
I mean, that
would
be the best thing. And be like, yeah, we found it. We'll send it to you. But I have a strange feeling that they found it, opened it, and took it.
Wow. I'm so sorry, man.
Why wouldn't they?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've never got a wallet that I've misplaced back with the money still in it.
Sure.
Ever. And so, and that's the tip for them sending you the wallet back. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, I'm going to make you not get credit cards and your license back. So I'm going to take a little tip out this thing, which is all the cash in your wallet.
You should have just been like, did you guys find like a Switch case? I collect poo-poo from around the world. And so don't open it.
And the Switch case is the only one that fits everything.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's dog poop.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm a
If you've never seen husky dog poop, oh my gosh.
I'm a connoisseur of the canine caca,
That's
and
right.
I use a Switch case.
Jeez.
Do not open it.
Yeah.
I have a special mask, the whole nine. Oh.
Yeah. You will get sick right away. So,
man. Gabe,
to anybody that lives in Burbank
man.
and feels like driving by a Fox rental car.
I'm so sorry, man.
But it's just so frustrating that nobody answers the phone. I'd rather them say we don't have it and me be able to close that door than this wound kind of stay open of maybe it's floating around there on a desk someplace.
Yep.
And somebody's playing it until it's dead. And then they're like, shoot, I can't charge this thing.
Yeah.
Well, you probably made somebody's Christmas. So
I hope that's what's happening. If
There's
I
a silver
can't have
lining.
it and somebody
There you
stole
go.
it, hopefully they gave it to a kid that wouldn't have got one otherwise.
There you go.
But
Silver
I think also
lining.
if they stole it, they probably gave it to him right away. They didn't wait till Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the old Ed Placencia way.
Right.
They just
Yeah, let's open this thing today.
Just
It's already
open it now.
open. Yeah.
Right. Battery's dead. Pawn shop.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I got you
Exactly.
some poop. This guy said his poop.
Oh,
Oh man, it pains me so bad.
I'm sorry, Gabe. It pains me too to hear it.
So I'm going to turn the house upside down probably one more good time,
Wow.
and then go through my backpack for the 9th time, like it's that big,
Right.
Wow, dude.
just to
I'm
make
so
sure it's not in the
sorry,
make sure it's not in the
You
bottom.
know, you got that extra compartment somewhere that you forgot the last 4 times you looked.
I'm just waiting for you to get a photo from Stancil on your phone with him with a switch and a big grin on his face.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the best. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Dang.
That would have got a ugh. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
so
Stupid
yeah, because
2019.
did I mention I'm
man.
done with
Get
it as
it
well?
out of here.
I'm with all of you guys. Let's
Get it
freaking move on to 2020.
Right.
Yep.
We got the Olympics. I could
Yep.
do without the election. Just like give us the new person, whoever it's going to be.
Right.
Just tell me who
Yep.
it is. I'll wake up
Put 'em
and
in.
I'll see who it is. Yeah, put him or her in there.
We got Last of Us coming.
We got such good video games coming out.
Cyberpunk.
We got Cyberpunk. We got Final Fantasy from me and Tim.
Oh,
That I was super
yeah, I forgot
excited
that one. Whoops.
This might or might not be. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Usually they do Call of Duty every year, but you just never know with them in Assassin's Creed. Like if there's gonna be a new Assassin's Creed, if there's not
Yeah,
gonna be a new
man.
Assassin's Creed,
Yeah,
they
come
were
on.
skipping a year. So we'll see.
Have they
Yeah.
released an Assassin's Creed and a Watch Dogs in the same year before?
I would imagine so because at the time,
I feel like when the first Watch Dogs dropped, they did release
Yeah.
an Assassin's Creed.
I think yeah.
because Assassin's Creed was every year at that point.
Yeah.
Was it every year? Wow.
Yeah, it was every year.
Yeah, it was.
So, anyway, yeah. So I mean, got on some Apex real quick with Chris. I'm having this weird thing with my PlayStation where the internet just does not like to be good on there, and I don't know if it's just because I have a day one PS4,
Yeah.
but it feels like the download is fine. It's not great. It's not as fast as my computer or the Xbox sitting next to it, but the down is fine, but the up is terrible.
Really?
I get 2.6 or 3 up.
Oh, wow.
And my computer from the 2.4 gigahertz thing I'm sitting from the house is getting I think it was getting 40 up.
Woo-hoo.
And so I was like, why?
So it's not your router or anything. It's definitely
No,
the PlayStation.
everything else. The Xbox gets amazing internet. It's just the PlayStation.
wow.
Mhm.
And, by distance, I mean, the Xbox is 7 inches away further than the PlayStation. But,
Right. Right.
it's just so frustrating. And, the Xbox One X also can read 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi where the day one PS4s can't. They're stuck at 2.4.
right.
They're still on the 2.5.
Yeah. Yep.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, it can't read mine. I've broadcasted it all different kind of ways, the 5 gigahertz, and I can't find it on the PlayStation. So, so yeah. So we got some ups and downs going on around here,
Yeah, man.
but he's still on the throne. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Tim,
Yes.
you got it.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's do it.
All right. Some slim new releases, but we already mentioned Borderlands 3 Moxie's Heist of the Handsome Jackpot. Released for
What?
the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
Uh-huh.
We have Destiny 2 The Dawning for the PC, PS4, Xbox, and
Ooh,
Stadia.
little DLC situation. Yeah, it's there.
Here we go.
Oh.
Untitled,
Oh, well, that's weird.
Untitled Goose Game.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
There, have at it. It's right up there with Ginger Dead Man.
No, man. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I can't
Untitled-
wait to hear what you guys think. I should maybe try it too. I guess.
I can't wait to play it.
Yep,
I
yep.
still don't get it, and so that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's good. Let's go 11 years back, December 18th, 2008, for the Wii,
Yeah.
Rock Band 2.
Oh, really?
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Nice.
That's our This Day in Gaming action.
I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, NPD for November is in.
Oh, nice.
Let's do this. Consumers in the U.S. spent $2.25 billion on gaming-related products online
Heyo.
and at U.S. retailers in November. That's down 19% from the same period of 2018.
Okay.
November has a tough comparison due to having no game on the level of last year's Red Dead Redemption 2.
Sure. Okay.
So there you go. So we're down. I think we all expected this year is a little wonky because we've got new consoles coming out. No one's really buying a whole lot there. And we just don't have as many games. 2019 was definitely not the year of the game. That is for sure.
Not like 2018.
Nothing like 2018. That is for sure. Speaking of games, let's get into it. The top 10 for November. This is U.S. stores, brick and mortar, and some digital, I believe. So here we go. Number 10, Luigi's Mansion 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very nice.
Number 9, Need for Speed Heat.
Okay.
Number 8, NBA 2K20.
Yeah.
Number 7, Death Stranding.
Oh, really?
Number 6, Madden NFL 20.
Okay.
Number 5, Pokemon Shield.
Yeah.
Number 4,
Sword?
Pokemon Sword and Shield Double Pack.
Oh, weird.
Oh, wow.
Number 3, Pokemon Sword.
Ah, weird.
So 3, 4, and 5, all Pokemon. One was Sword, one was the Double Pack, one was the Shield. Number 2, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Which leaves number 1, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Call of Duty repeats as the best-selling game of the month and maintains its position as the best-selling game of 2019 year to date.
What the heck? In 3 weeks? That's crazy.
3 weeks. Best-selling game of the
year?
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Nuts. What the heck?
Yeah.
How has it been the best-selling? It does this every time where it comes out, and like 3 weeks later, it's the best-selling game of the whole year. Everybody else had a year head start. It's crazy.
Yep, they are an absolute monster. It also becomes the best-selling game of the trailing 12-month period ending in November. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is the number 2 best-selling. And
wait, hold on a second. So that's to say that Call of Duty is the best-selling game since Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Like monster. Just a monster.
That's awesome.
That's great, though. Good on it. And this one's great, and everybody loves it, so good on them.
And what I love about it is that they added the story back. You know, they took campaign away from the last one. And so I'm glad to see that. Of course, obviously, people were just going to buy Call of Duty, but I'm glad that they still supported a game with, that did focus on story at first. Yeah.
So would you say that the campaign helped sell this, or do you think it's just because it's Call of Duty?
No, it's just Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Got it.
It would have sold regardless.
Okay, perfect. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order becomes the number 9 best-selling game of 2019 year to date. It achieved the second highest launch month dollar sales for any Star Wars game in U.S. history.
Oh, good.
Trailing only Star Wars Battlefront back in 2015.
Okay.
The game
I like that game.
The game also achieved the highest launch month dollar sales for a Respawn Entertainment developed title in U.S. history. Pokemon Sword and Shield 3, 4, and 5, while the Pokemon Sword and Double Pack places at 4, it is the number 4 best-selling game of the month. Well, that was the best-selling game of the month. These titles combined to achieve the highest launch month dollar sales of any Pokemon release in U.S. history, topping the previous launch month high set by Pokemon Sun and Moon, where all versions of Pokemon Sun and Shield, Sword and Shield combined. The aggregate total would place as the number 2 best-selling in November.
Wow.
Pokemon is all over the place, man.
That's
insane.
awesome.
So good on you, Call of Duty. Good on you, Star Wars. Good on you, Pokemon. And there you have it.
I like it.
I tell you.
Christopher, you want to tackle these video game awards, doggy?
Yeah. So for those who may have been aware, checking us out on social media, we did a react, Gabe, Ed, and myself. So we watched the Game
react.
Awards. Yeah, and then Tim was able to pop into the chat a few times. He wasn't able to make it to the actual react of the Game Awards. So I just thought we could go over kind of our thoughts of the show in general, just our reactions. And I will go ahead and hit on some of the higher level games. Or the higher level categories. I'm not going to necessarily mention every single one. Do you want me to go through like the winners first, or you want to chat about the show? What do you guys feel?
Let's hit some of these high tier winners, and then we could do our takeaways as far as like trailers and things that we might have seen.
Okay, so we have for best narrative went to Disco Elysium was the winner for that. Or maybe
I did not know much about that game.
I'll say who was nominated and then the winner. So for narrative, even though I just spoiled that, it's The Outer Worlds, Death Stranding, Plague's Tale, Control, and Disco Elysium. As I mentioned before, Disco Elysium won. Under multiplayer game, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, Tetris 99, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Borderlands 3, and Apex Legends. Apex Legends is the one who won that game. Independent game was Untitled Goose Game, Outer Wilds, Katana Zero, Baba Is You, and Disco Elysium. It again went to Disco Elysium.
Yeah, that's crazy.
For game direction, we have Death Stranding, Control, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro's Shadows Die Twice, and Outer Wilds. It went to Kojima for Death Stranding. Fighting game was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Jump Force, Dead or Alive 6, Mortal Kombat 11, and Samurai Showdown. It went to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And then let's see what some of the other ones here that were big deal. These are all content creator of the year was Courage, Dr. Lupo, Ewok, Greg. I don't know how to say GREFG. However you say that. And then Shroud. It went to Shroud. And then art direction was Control, Death Stranding, Gris, Sayona, Wild Hearts. I don't know how to say that first part of it. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. It went to Control, which Mr. Ed has been playing again. Mm-hmm. Action adventure game was Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Resident Evil 2, Death Stranding, Control, and Borderlands 3. Again, it went to Sekiro. And action game was Devil May Cry 5, Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Gears 5, which oddly enough was the only category Gears was nominated in, I believe. Metro Exodus. It ended up going to Devil May Cry 5. And then the game of the year, we had Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Outer Worlds, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. And it went to Sekiro.
Yes.
Crazy.
Which is not what I was expecting at all, even though I know a lot of people really dug that game.
What was crazy is that while they're reading these off, I said to the guys, I was like, man, I feel so bad for Sekiro for not winning anything yet. Yeah. Like, I feel like that was, a big deal. I was like, it was really hard for me, so I couldn't push through and play it, but dang it. And then they were like, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Vin Diesel up there.
Yeah.
And we were all like, what? It was awesome.
That was nuts.
Yes, I was so happy about that.
I really thought, as the show got closer and some other outlets were giving Control, their game of the year or whatever, I thought, oh, maybe Control's got a greater shot than I realized as someone who had not played that. Yeah. But I just always assumed it's probably going to Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I had assumed that it would go to the other one, but I thought Smash Brothers made the most sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I was so happy for those guys to will. It was kind of like when the voice actress from was it Hellblade?
Yep.
Won last year.
Yeah.
And it was just such a sweet moment. She's like, I've never done this before. It's my first game. I actually work with these guys, and they're like, why don't you give it a try? And I ended up being the girl. You're like, oh gosh. Now I got diabetes. That was so sweet.
Right?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Love those stories, man. Those are great.
Yes. That was so great. And I feel like Disco Elysium, in the same vein, felt very surprised to be up there more than once.
Yeah.
They looked surprised to be up there once. So they looked real surprised the second time they were going up there. And so
that's for sure.
I thought that was great. Let's talk about some things, one of the things that the Game Awards is bringing these days. And I don't know if this is like Game Awards of old, but I know as the last couple of years, you could always count on them for a world premiere.
Mm-hmm.
And
there were a few.
And we'd be remiss not to start with what I think was the biggest surprise for me. Yeah. I had no idea that Microsoft would unveil the new Xbox Series X at the Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was awesome. Let's hear some. Tim, what's your first takes of the Xbox Series X?
Great.
Sweet.
Back to you,
Chris.
I honestly, I didn't get to see like that part of it at all, and
it was at the very beginning. Yeah, if you blinked, you missed it.
Right. So, it was one of those, cool. They got a new console. I know nothing about it. Great.
Oh, that's right. You came in the chat and you said, what did I miss? And everybody was like, the Xbox is what you've been listening
I know.
to.
And I was like, but for me, it was like, okay, great.
But have you seen a picture of it since?
Nope.
You don't even know what it looks like?
What?
Nope.
Dude. Oh my God.
Oh, Lord.
It's too bad nobody covered it in any articles at all.
Nope.
Hold on a second. I got to send it to you. I just want to hear your first reactions when you see what it looks like. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
All right,
Okay?
go for it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, hold on. I'm not ready. Here we go. All right, here we go.
Let's see this marvel. It's so weird. I check out with Xbox just because I don't play it.
It's too bad you're not on a gaming podcast.
Cool.
You see that picture?
Yeah, it's like an Apple Tower. Nice.
That's exactly what I said.
Exactly.
I thought it looked like an Echo, but square.
Yeah, no, I mean that's all. It's definitely not the big VCR that it used to be. So that's great.
I know it's a Betamax
I love
player
that.
now.
Yeah, right. No, that's very cool.
Well, I feel like when I look at this, and we've seen some people guess. So when I look at the controller, the controller seems small compared to it. And so what I've been trying to do is like look at the controller, look over at the Xbox One X. And I'm trying to look at the gap between where the CD drive stops and the top of the machine.
Right.
And in pictures I've seen where people are guessing, they're saying that the Xbox Series X will be shorter than the Xbox One X. I just don't see how that's possible, though.
I mean, if you scoot the controller over a bit, it's about as wide as the controller, right?
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Which is already way thicker, obviously, than the Xbox One X is what I have. I don't know about the Xbox One.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so that picture you just sent, that's not real, though. That's just somebody's mock-up with a shoebox.
Yeah, IGN, they have a video where they describe how they got to the dimensions that they did. So, and they're not saying that it is absolutely a 1-to-1. They're saying, but based on all these things, ways that we measured it, this is pretty dang close.
And it's ginormous in comparison to the Xbox One. What do you think that's 2.5 Xbox One X's stacked on top of each other?
I mean,
probably height-wise, yeah, but it's definitely shallower if you look to the depth part of it.
Even on its side, it won't fit in the cabinet where I've got my consoles in our entertainment center.
Really?
I'll have to put it like behind the TV or something.
Which is something that they did come out and
on the ground.
Make a place to say is that you can put it on its side. It doesn't have to be standing like it has been in all the marketing material.
Yes. Yeah. So like Tim, what's your initial, besides it looks like, because that's exactly what I yelled out as they showed it. I was like, oh, it's a Mac tower. But like, the Mac, at least Mac did it, did they do that circular one that looked all nice, but this thing, I don't want to call it a monstrosity because it's not ugly.
It's pretty big.
But it feels.
It's big.
Extra.
Yeah, it's definitely extra.
Chris, what's your thoughts on it?
I don't hate it. Like the very first thing when I saw it, because it looks like it sits on either some type of like padding or like feet to elevate it, and that it has the top of it looks like the vent out. It very much reminds me. That's actually the Mac that I use is one of those older cylindrical Mac Pros. And so it just reminded me of that. I was like, oh, it's a squared off version of that. So cool. I've got no problem with that. And mine's really, it's a small computer. I like how it stays compact and it stays on my desk. This I think I'm assuming is a bit bigger than my current one, but it doesn't seem like it's that big. Cause like Ed was saying, there's several pictures where the controller is like, it's almost about the width wise of the controller and then about 3 of them stacked up.
Yeah. People are
saying
that
if you try to use that visually, it doesn't seem that big. Now, I will say it does not seem like the type of thing that's going to easily fit in a lot of spaces. I think that my entertainment center, so to speak, it would fit in because it's more opened, but I think it would just barely fit in there. I would likely end up instead put it on top right below the TV or next to the TV.
If you laid it down, this is, of course, everybody's guessing, right? There's the measurements, though, but these seem to be the measurements that everybody's saying. That it would be a little over 6 inches tall if you laid it down.
Yeah.
A little over 12 inches tall. 12.28 inches tall if you had it standing up. That's tall as a beast. 12 inches.
I don't understand how we got bigger with all of with all the latest technology, and everything is getting so much. Well, no, I take that back, because iPhones are getting bigger than they used to.
Yeah, but that's the sexy thing with phones. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Remember in the early 2000s, everybody was trying to get phones
nothing
as big as your
sexy
fingernail.
about this. I feel like I can open the lid and put my Birkenstocks in there and be done with it. You know,
Yes, of course.
It's just.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Before we get to Ed's reaction, because I know Ed has to have some thoughts on this too. But like, well, I felt like when I saw the body of it, I was like, is there any way that it's updatable hardware wise?
Mm-hmm.
I think because I'm a PC guy and I'm used to opening up my tower and putting stuff in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I just like wouldn't put it past Microsoft to be like, hey, and if you want to add a hard drive, you slide this up and you we added another hard drive slot. You know what I'm saying? There could be like 2 hard drive slots in there. I'm not saying you would like do the video card or something like that, or I don't think you would do RAM or anything like that. But just like, I just wonder if it's gonna be easy to open up and upgrade a little bit and close, or mod as Ed would call it.
Yeah,
right.
I do think that. I think that it's going to either a door or the top slides off or something like that in order to either swap out the hard drive. It'd be nice if they added just another bay where you could add a second hard drive rather than have. I mean, because the PlayStations all had that, and I was actually kind of shocked that the Xbox One didn't have that. So I do think that's going to be a thing. I don't think you're going to be able to add more. Maybe I could see them maybe in some way making it to where you could add more RAM, but I'm pretty sure that the CPU, it's going to be an APU or whatever they call them, where it's the graphics and the CPU all on one chip. So I don't think you'll be able to change that out. Those two options out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be kind of crazy if they did make it to where you could add or maybe upgrade the RAM down the road. That'd be kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Ed, what was your first thoughts when you saw this thing, man? This is a crazy thing.
Yeah, my first thought was it looked pretty cool. It reminded me of our Alexa, and I thought it looked cool. My second thought was, how will it fit? And then when I saw that you can put it on its side, I was like, okay, well, that's cool. They talk about Phil Spencer having one in his house, and he has it on its side. And then, the more I kind of thought about it, once you get it out of the box and you have it where you're going to put it, if I've got to stick it behind the TV, that's fine. Because
when you say behind the TV, what does that mean? Behind it?
Like on the floor behind it?
No, on our entertainment center, the TV, there's like a lot of space behind it because it's a flat screen.
Oh, it's not on the wall, is what you're saying.
It's not on a wall. Yeah. So I would just stick it behind the TV, or maybe on the floor beside it. But really, at the end of the day, it's going to be about how does it work? Because once it's in there, I don't care what it looks like. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
And also, they talked about how the name was going to hint at what the Xbox does. And so when it comes out with series, that means, they're probably going to have a slimmer one like the Xbox One S or the One X, where, they weren't the monstrosities. The first one was either. So, maybe they'll have a smaller version. Maybe they'll have a smaller version that doesn't have a disk drive, or who knows how many versions they'll come out with. So at the end of the day, I mean, I'm a fan of Xbox. I'm not mad at them for it. I'm just, oh, cool. That's what it looks like. That's awesome. I think it looks cool.
Yeah.
Well, but really at the end of the day, how's it going to, when they showed, just the Hellblade clip, I thought, I don't care what this thing looks like. Hellblade looks amazing.
Yeah. Right.
I'm all for it. So, I aesthetically, it doesn't it's not a make or break for me at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's get into some other stuff. Chris, what else grabbed you? I know that you were big on the Hellblade thing. Was there anything else that kind of jumped out and grabbed you from the Game Awards, or just that?
Yeah, that's probably the only real thing. I mean, I think it was a good show. I do feel like every year the show itself's gotten a little bit better. This year was a bit of a down year for me in terms of my excitement for the show, just because there really weren't that many games that came out this year that I was super excited to see. Like, I want to see how they do at the Game Awards. Pretty much the only one was Death Stranding, and then the few categories where Apex was in. And I didn't necessarily expect Death Stranding to win everything. I did think it would win a couple things, and I was happy to see that, but I didn't think it was going to necessarily take everything. And then I thought it was possible that Apex wouldn't win in its categories, and it did win. So I was happy to see that as well. But outside of that, the main thing for me was the Hellblade sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only thing that I thought about when the show was over, and that in the days since I've thought about it more.
Nice.
Wow.
That's really awesome. Like I'm in a bad spot because I had no plans of buying the next Xbox because I'm kind of in the router camp to some extent. I mean, I more so than him, I've played mine, but this generation, I bought my Xbox One not at launch, but like launch window time frame. I bought it was a Titanfall bundle, so it came out 3 months after the console launched. And I've just not used it a ton. And I've even made a point, you're like, I'm going to buy this game on there. And I go over there and it's just not where I gravitate towards. So I was just like, you know what? This next go around, sure, I'll keep my eyes open to Xbox down the road, but I'm getting PS5 and then we'll just see how it goes from there. And this is just, it's just making me like, what am I going to do now? Cause I just got to figure it out. Cause I've got to play the next Hellblade.
Wow.
And it's going to be an exclusive. Or at least a Microsoft exclusive. Because that's what I'm really wrestling with is like, do I get this Xbox or do I go down the road of building some kind of gaming PC or buying one or whatever the heck?
Yeah.
And I don't know what I want to do. I feel like I'm not going to make a decision until I find out more information because with this next generation, like something crazy could happen. Like we were chatting about like where it is in some respects upgradable, or maybe they added so many different features this generation that were somewhat PC-esque. Maybe they'll add even more in the capabilities. I don't know. Maybe it'll make it to where a PC is kind of null and void for me because I'm not necessarily worried about playing. I've got to play it at the 28Ks with the 500 frames per second. I'm not necessarily concerned about that.
No, me either.
It's like I would really like 60 frames per second. I'd honestly be fine if all the games were at 1080p. Just give me 60 frames. I don't need 120. I'm sure it's good, but you give me 60, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shoot, I just don't want to buy two, technically three, because I will need to get one for Stacey's $600, $500 consoles right at launch.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's something I want to do.
Right.
Edward, what grabbed you, bud?
It was definitely the reveal of the Xbox. So that stood out to me. But other than that, again, Hellblade, it looked fantastic. And I'm super excited about Ghost of Tsushima. I was really happy we got a longer look at that. I can't wait to get my hands on that.
Tim?
Well, I kind of just got in very late and then got out. I did like the Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
I thought that was great. My thing with Xbox is for me, I'm right there with you, Chris. Like, I am not going to get both of these both Xbox and a PlayStation. It's going to be one or the other because based on the games that I play is mostly PlayStation. Hellblade, I didn't get to see much of it anyway, but one game is not going to persuade me to go and get the latest Xbox because I still have a Gen 1 Xbox. And it's literally just sitting there with no plug in it.
Right.
Just because I just do not play if I'm going to play a game, I'm usually going to play it on PlayStation, and I play a lot of PlayStation exclusive games anyway. That's what I favor. So
yeah.
It
definitely was a thing for me. I was like, maybe during a mid-gen refresh, that's when I'll pick up the Xbox.
Yeah,
I just wasn't going to do the same thing I did this gen, where it's like they're roughly both launch purchases for me.
Now, I do love the fact that Game Pass is really on and popping there, and they're doing a great thing with Game Pass. I wish PlayStation would do something like that too. But again, that's still not enough for me to be like, all right, Xbox, here we go. What do you got? Because I love the PlayStation controller. I love the PlayStation games, and if I can play it on either one, I'm gonna favor the PlayStation one. So
yeah.
But there you go. I think it was great that it was the Video Game Awards show that did the big reveal. I thought that was nice for Jeff, and I definitely appreciated it. I think that was really cool.
Yeah, I'm struggling to remember everything that went on, but I know one of the things we talked about early was they showed a Final Fantasy VII clip.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was hitting me on Twitter, and they were like, "Hey, this is coming. We gotta check it out." And I was like, "Yeah." And then they showed us the same junk we've seen over the last 6 months. And it got me really scared. And I was telling these guys, I was like, why are we seeing the same stuff though? Like, is this thing gonna be awful? Because it's the same boss battles, it's the same like interactions with other stuff. It's the same like little one-liners from other characters. It just feels like they took like what they have in like maybe 3 other trailers and put it all in one. And I don't know that there was a clip that was new.
You think this game's getting delayed again?
I didn't realize that, Gabe. I didn't realize there was nothing new in there.
There was nothing new. And I think some guys, and I wish I would have had the chat going on screen, but even if you go back and watch it video on demand, I don't know if the chats populate, but like even some of the people in the chat were like, we waited for that. Like that was what we've seen already. And that's the only thing that gets me scared. When people don't start moving the needle forward and showing you more and more, gameplay stuff and other things that you can get into. And granted, we know this is part 1 or whatever they're going to call it, episode 1 or whatever. Maybe there's not anything else to show. If there's not, then that's depressing too, because they didn't show any slums. They didn't show any like the quick time games and stuff like that they showed in other previews. And so it got me more worried than it did hyped. I mean, I've already pre-ordered it, so it's coming, but it got me more worried than hyped. The other thing though that did get me hyped was that doggone Wolf Among Us 2.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
I was like, here we freaking go. We talked all about Telltale kind of being closed down and how things were getting canceled left and right. And The Wolf Among Us was one of the things that they said they had started but might be getting canceled. And so we really haven't heard boo since then. Yeah. And so right when that music started up, I know Ed was on it and my antenna went up, but I wasn't sure. And I was like, and as the camera zoomed out, I was like, oh, freak, that's Big B Wolf or whatever they call him. And Bigsby. What's his name on there?
Bixby,
right?
Big B.
Big B.
I don't believe there's an S.
Yeah. And so I'm really excited about it. Makes me want to go back and play the other one because I don't freaking remember what happened.
Yeah, man. Do that. Visit that story.
YouTube. I love it.
Dude, golly. Yeah, I might need to do it on YouTube. Yeah, not even mess with it. So, and I know that there were some other trailers that grabbed us, and I didn't play Hellblade, but I was really excited for Chris because Chris was really excited. So I was like, if he's excited, then we need to be looking into this a little deeper. But yeah, so I thought, and I'm gonna continue to do it. I think that Jeff is awesome. I think he's killing it. I think that there's a hard balance between on how to ramp a show. Chris, can you share a little bit about that the Half-Life thing that you were telling us about?
So there was some rumorish, if it's leaks or rumors, but that basically Valve was heavily rumored to be showing a trailer for a more extended trailer or maybe some gameplay trailer. I'm not exactly sure the specifics of Half-Life Alyx.
Yes.
And the thought was that was potentially what was going to be the ender of the show, the last like a one more thing kind of style of thing. And that the word is that like the day before or the morning of something to that respect is that the trailer got pulled.
Yeah.
And that likely because if you watch that first like little sizzle reel as the show was getting started, there were some clips of Alyx in there, but then you never saw anything else.
Oh, yeah.
So that kind of leads a little bit of credence to that may have been the case. And because there's so much anticipation for that game, it would make sense to me that would be like your last and one more thing before you go kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when it wasn't there, it kind of maybe was a bit of an explanation on why it just kind of.
Well, yeah, it ended so flat with the whole Fast and Furious thing.
Yeah,
that you were like, this is weird. The other thing that grabbed me though was the those doggone Muppets, man.
Oh my gosh,
they were so good, and I don't know who's writing that stuff. I don't know if they get like what are they called, Ed? Who's like the behind the scenes on the Muppets? It's not like Imagineers, but like, they have their own little...
The Muppeteers?
Are they the Muppeteers?
Yeah.
And so whoever that is, and, I feel like Jeff's age is probably around ours to where that was his childhood as well, and that's why they're there, because they're nowhere else. But they were in the Game Awards last year. They're in it this year.
Yeah.
And I just thought they were excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was so good.
I missed that whole thing, but that's great because that can go very awkward if it's not done right.
Tim, you got to go watch it. It is so good. They also did a really cool thing with live animation where Mirage was in a different building and he was kind of talking with Jeff Keighley live. And right when it started, I was like, holy crap, they're doing this live. And everybody's like, you think? And I was like, I think so. And then kind of the story broke the next day that they were actually in a separate building. They were in a building next door recording that and all his stuff. And I just thought
so cool.
I thought that was really, really cool.
I just love it when a game that I really don't know much about and I'm not really huge into, they can still do things that draw me in and entertain me. Even though I don't even know who Mirage is, I still was able to enjoy and appreciate what they did. So that was really well done.
Yes. I thought that was fun. I did think it was hilarious. The first award that Death Stranding was up for, it won. And so I saw the chat was like, well, that's 1 for 1, so you kind of like feel the thing like, oh crap, here we go. But then it didn't end up cleaning house. Like, I think people were worried maybe that it would.
I was kind of glad that everyone that was like, that had their tinfoil hats on saying that it's so weird that Kojima's on the board. Yeah. Kind of, it was like,
had to eat your words a little bit. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought there was all kind of cool things that got shown. We had Bravely Default 2, which was really weird to me because I played Bravely Default on the 3DS, and then Bravely Second came out, which I thought was a sequel to Bravely Default, and then Bravely Default 2 is coming out. So
interesting.
Somebody's got to explain that one to me. I don't really know how all that goes. But
was the second like a Far Cry Blood Dragon where it wasn't technically a sequel?
I didn't play it because I didn't finish. I don't think.
Okay.
Me and Ed rushed to sign up for a game called 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it looks like, but I just remember that we hurried to sign up for it.
We're in there.
Yeah, we'll be in the beta or whatever the freak. And so that was about it on that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, anything else? Game Awards, guys? You guys ready to move on?
I think we covered it pretty well.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, well, I'll do this one first. Sony is officially adding back buttons to the PS4, the DualShock 4 controller.
Yeah.
Via an official attachment. When I first saw this, for some reason, it felt like an IGN April Fool's joke. I don't know why. It looked really silly to me. But you have to remember, I have really big hands. And so the DualShock 4 is already really small to me, in my hands. And so thinking about adding something to where I even have to curl my fingers even more to not accidentally press these buttons seems like a joke to me. But it is called the back button attachment. For anybody.
Man, genius.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't have any like Wii U problems going on here. It'll be $30. I want to say they said. I can't remember off the top of my head. But they are 2 buttons. It plugs into the bottom. It wraps around the back. It still has a charger port, so you can still charge it from the bottom. And then the
headphone port.
I'm sorry, headphone port in the bottom, so you can still have your headphones. And the back 2 buttons will be programmable. And me and Chris were just talking about this before the show. It seems like it'll just be for the face buttons. Is that right, Chris?
Well, the only information we have is the little video that they had for it, and when they cycle through how to show that it's because it has on the back an OLED, a little small OLED screen, and how you can program the 2 paddles, the right or the left one, to be different buttons, and it cycles through several different ones. But I only saw the face buttons and then like trigger style buttons. I never saw a D-pad like arrow pop up on there.
Right.
So I'm just gonna have to wait till later to see, because I was telling Gabe that I, as someone who's always been somewhat slightly interested in those fancy dancy controllers with the extra paddles, but not wanting to spend the amount of money it takes to get into them.
Yep.
this is something I wouldn't mind picking up and then just dabbling with and seeing like, oh, let's see if I could get used to some of these extra buttons. Because what's great about it is like I have several DualShock 4s that when one gets low, I just unplug it to power it off, swap controllers, and plug the other one in. And this thing, because it's an accessory, you can move it from controller to controller. I don't need to have 2 scuffs that I've got to be swapping between when the battery dies on one versus the other. That's $400.
2 scuff controllers.
Yeah, 2 scuff controllers, or any of the other ones that are the officially licensed PlayStation ones that are kind of like pseudo elite style controllers like the Xbox has. But if you can't, the games that I think of that I would want to use it on are like FPS competitive games like Apex and Call of Duty.
Yep.
And to me, when I think Apex in particular, which is where I feel like I use it the most, I would like to have it to where I tap that button to bring out my grenade. And that's tied to a face button or to a directional pad button. And if I can't do directional, I don't know that I'm that interested, honestly, because I mean, I can get around it just fine.
Yeah. And to Chris's point too, one of the things that I've always worried about in buying one of those like super elite controllers was like, can I still go back to an old controller and play it and still feel okay?
Yeah,
And this seems to really help with that because you can take it with you. And it doesn't seem that crazy, right? I mean, it's not like something that you really got to get used to, where I feel like the Xbox Elite controllers look very different and I would think feel very different, especially like that one disky D-pad, you know what I'm saying, where you're just used to having that.
Odd note, the new Xbox, like that's the way that the controller is going to have a D-pad that's very similar to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a disc.
Yep. Yeah, not exactly the same, but a similar, slightly similar design.
Have the diagonals raised. Yeah, and so so I love that this will be portable. It like Chris said, if your controller dies, you just swap it over to the other one and keep her moving.
Yeah.
And so I love that too. I don't know that I would get it. Again, my hands are big, and the way that my hands sit on the back, it looks like they're right where my hands sit, like, where my middle finger sits at. And so, I don't know. I definitely like to try it or go, feel it in Target or something like that if they've got them out, on the controllers there.
And this is nothing to say, like, I'm not necessarily commenting on the way that it makes the controller look. I do think it seems a bit strange. It has this little bump on the bottom, at least from the renderings. I don't think it's like the sexiest looking piece of gear, but I also don't, I'm just thinking of it from a functionality standpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
If I find out later on that you can map any of the buttons to those back two buttons, and even if I find out that you can't, I may still, at $30, that's cheap enough that I'm like, man, I could dabble with this to find out if, like, for the next gen, I want to really look into one of these mega controllers for whichever or both systems that I go with, if I do, or whatever the heck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that the price point is very appealing, where it doesn't have that intimidating, I've got to spend this much on a really nice controller. And like you were just saying, Chris, it's a great way for me to be like, could I even add more buttons? Would I be able to handle that? And if so, okay, maybe in the future I would consider stepping up to a different controller as well.
Yeah, so someone like you, Ed, who plays a lot of like narrative-based games and third-person games, stuff like, I literally only can think at competitive FPS games where this would be a thing I'd want to have. I don't sit there and think, man, when I was playing God of War, I sure felt like I could have had more buttons.
Yep.
I just don't feel like that.
Yeah, Overwatch is the only reason I feel like I would even considered using it. And so, for $30, I would actually consider it rather than, again, one of those really nice elite controllers.
The thing that I thought, and by the way, Chris,
yes,
in the video, it says map to 16 different functions.
Yeah.
So when you count up all the buttons, including L3, R3, options, and share, that's 16.
Yeah, it cycles through like L1, R2, all those different.
So that to get to 16, you would have to count the directional buttons. So it could be saying that it does do directional as well. Map to 16 different functions. So that does take away from I'm not counting the PS button or the touchpad.
Are you counting L3 and R3?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's both triggers, the face buttons, L3, R3, options, and share. And
good then.
The directional.
That makes me happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Buttons. So, we'll see. I think it'll be interesting. Again, I don't think I'll grab it. But I think it's a step in the right direction. One of the things I was asking Chris is, Do we think that this then translates over to next gen, or do you think next gen, for some reason on the DualShock 5, has buttons on the back already? Any thoughts?
I don't know. Did they?
Man, I don't know.
I know that Xbox said like all controllers will be like backwards compatible. I don't know if Sony has said the same thing or not.
That's what I mentioned to Gabe. I was like, I don't know. I do feel like next generation Sony will probably come out, maybe not out the gate, but they will end up coming out with their own officially made from Sony Elite style controller. I feel like they'll have to do that. I understand them not doing it this generation because there's several on the market that are officially licensed that are done by third-party partners. Why would they bring out one also themselves to compete with people they just teamed up with? That doesn't make any sense to me. And this, you could make the argument this does compete with that, but it's such a lower price point, and it doesn't add near the functionality that these other premium controllers do. So I could see that. But what I was telling him is the same thing that you kind of mentioned, Ed, was like, well, Xbox has already said any controller you're playing with on Xbox One, you can use on the Xbox Series X or whichever other variant you get, and it'll work. So I could see this maybe opening the door to Sony coming out and saying, hey, we've got this new DualShock 5 that's got some better battery life maybe, or a few more bells and whistles. But if you want to use one of those many DualShock 4s you have, you can do it. Oh, and you can use this little crazy accessory to give you more buttons. That made me my head go that direction, that maybe they're going to follow Microsoft's lead in that way.
Well, and two, Mark Cerny did say that it looks almost identical to the DualShock 4, the DualShock 5, except it's got adaptive haptic feedback, the rumble. And so, I think lends to your thought of DualShock 4 is working on a PS5.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see. It launches on the 23rd of January.
Whew.
So that's quick. What else you got, Christopher?
Just want to touch on really quick a little bit more about the Xbox because we got some clarification, if you will. So when it launched, we got that thing. It said the Xbox Series X, and we're like, okay. And I, similar to Ed, was like, that doesn't really tell me what it does. I'm not understanding. And Series X leads me to believe that there's going to be a Series S, maybe, or Series whatever else. And they came out and gave some clarification that no, the next generation is just called Xbox, and the Series is how you differentiate between the different variants that we're going to offer. Without completely confirming, because there's been all these rumors that they're working on two that are going to launch with Project Lockhart and Scarlet, which we know at least Scarlet is going to be the Xbox Series X, and that the other one, presumably, I feel like it will probably be the Xbox Series S, just to stick with the naming convention that they're used to. I think it's a little... I kind of dig the idea of just going back to Xbox and just having your series or whatever they were going to call it and your variants that way. I mean, it's very much similar to the phone market where you have your iPhone X and your iPhone X Max, or you have your Samsung Galaxy what and your Pixel 4 XL. I mean, I feel like nowadays consumers can kind of get behind understanding that a little bit more. I was a little concerned initially that I was like, oh, if it's Xbox Series X and Xbox this, and could there be, for the really super casual people, some kind of confusion? But I was like, oh, if it's just going to be buy your Xbox, which one do you want? Well, we have this version. I don't think it's going to be that confusing. And that makes me feel a little bit better because I like the idea of just calling it just the Xbox.
Yeah.
Because everybody kind of already does that anyways. I mean.
But you also like PS5, right?
Say again?
But you also like PS5, not somebody saying I'm going to go buy a PlayStation.
What I will say is I think from the beginning, Microsoft would have been much better off just calling it the Xbox and then the Xbox 2 and the Xbox 3, like go down a traditional normal naming convention. But because they put themselves in this crazy weird position, I feel like this is the best possible way they could have gone with it by just calling it Xbox and then having Xbox : this one, Xbox : that. I mean, yes, they should have just been 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's
but they would have been behind, right? I mean, I feel like that was one of the early thoughts, is that they would have been behind. So why do that? Because the Xbox kind of came out alongside the PlayStation 2, so they would have been, the Xbox, 4 would be coming out when the PlayStation 5 would be coming out.
Yeah, all the talk back then was that the reason they went with 360 is because aside from the fact that they came out a year before, And then they were like, oh, 360 sounds higher than 3. And they didn't want the mom and pops to go to the store and be like, oh, well, I want the one that's the 3 because that's got to be the newer, better one versus the Xbox 2. And I can get that.
Of course.
You still kind of, once you open that door, you get yourself in these goofy situations where you're like,
where there's no naming
let's just
convention, where you go Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that looks a little sillier than just like, oh, well, our number's one smaller.
Right. Yes.
I don't know.
I wanted to mention this only because they make it sound like it's our fault.
How dare they?
This is what I've continually heard. Animation studio responsible for Sonic redesign closes, which makes it sound like it was something we did because we were the ones that, and what I'm talking about is the consumers, that we were up in the uproar about the way Sonic looked in the movie, and he must be changed, or I'm not going to see this movie. And this company does it; they pour their heart and souls into it. Now they're closing. So there was crunch. I don't think anybody's getting away from the fact that there was crunch, but these guys. They're called Moving Picture Company, are a big company. Back in 2013, they actually had 800 employees.
Wow.
And Sonic is not the only only movie they've worked on. They worked on Sonic. They worked on the new Robert Downey Jr. Doolittle that's coming out. They worked on 1917, which I heard was amazing.
Yeah, that's coming out.
Lady and the Tramp, Maleficent, Lion King, Godzilla, Detective Pikachu, Dumbo, Shazam, Dark Phoenix, Ad Astra. You get where I'm going with this.
Right.
I do. It's not our fault.
It's not Sonic's fault. Whatever's going on there, we don't know. This is very vague, but this came from an email sent to the staff. It said because of increasing external market pressures, specifically in Vancouver, Canada, compared to other places, that's why they're closing down. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that because, the rent's going up and it's too dang high, or what. I wouldn't think it would be something that simple. But it does seem like the area is kind of losing something, which I hate. The Digital Media Association of BC said that MPC, Moving Picture Company, was really involved with community stuff and after school things and helped educate students about the industry and stuff like that, which I think is very cool. And I think, I don't often think of places like that as places that do outreach to schools and stuff like that. But that's how awesome is that? I saw, is his name John Boyega, who plays Finn in Star Wars. So he was on Hot Ones recently. And he said the whole way he got into theater was that the theater where he was from, I think he's from London, I think originally Nigeria and then London. But in London, the school was pretty much tied to the theater. So you could go to theater, actual theater, and learn theater, and that was your after school programming. And he said that's how he got into it. Some people fell away, some people stuck with it. Obviously, he stuck with it. Now he's in freaking Star Wars. That's amazing.
Right.
These guys also worked on Life of Pi. But so it's a bummer that these guys are closing down. Obviously, anytime we see a company close down, we hate to hear about it because you just worry. We're all husbands. We know how this goes. It would suck if all of a sudden you went to work and you have an email saying like, "Hey, we're closing down, so you got to go find a job." So hopefully these guys will land on their feet. If they're like Stancil, and I've talked to Stancil about this, about him and other people that are in the gaming community especially, it seems like they're able to go and interview, and because of the things they've done, they're usually able to place themselves pretty quickly as long as they're go-getters. And so
that's the hope, at least. Yeah.
Great. So we're sorry that this happened. The only reason I brought it up is because I don't want to make it sound like it's our fault. The guys that redesigned Sonic are going out of business, y'all. See what y'all did?
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's what happened here.
They're going to do
fine. Not at all.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
They'll be all right. I hope they're all right.
Yeah. I think anytime you get into such a specialized area, people know each other,
That's right.
And they know who does good work.
Yes.
It's all big network anyway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That totally makes sense. Chris, did you have anything else you wanted to cover? No.
I mean, I had something super small, but I mean, I guess I can touch on because it's so small, but it's basically if you're into Apple Arcade, they've come out with it was a month to month, $4.99 a month. They've come out with a version where you can just pay for it annually.
Yeah.
But if you do it that way, it drops it by $10.
Yeah.
So
$50
you get a
a year.
little bit of a savings there if you decide that you want to switch it. And you can do it from within, the iPhone. You can do it just in the settings if you want, and it'll just switch over. And the way that it ends up working out is that you just get a free month or a free 2 months, actually, the way that it works out. So
Nice.
I haven't heard a ton about Apple Arcade since it launched. I mean, the people who I know that I have followed that use it love it, but I haven't seen like this swell of people like, oh my gosh, this is so great. So I don't know how intriguing this is going to be to our community or to people in general, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that's a big Apple Arcade fan that, hey, if you can save some money, why not?
Well, and it's like what we said when it came out. I think this is more for the parents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you have kids that are constantly wanting you to buy apps and stuff like this, you get this, you pay $50 a year, and it launched with over 100 games. And so, you can get in there and be like, yeah, you can see this library, any of those, and you don't have to worry about extra charges and stuff like that. Actually, Remy, back when I had my Switch,
No, too soon.
I don't know how it happened, but he bought a game. Like I thought I had it on lockdown, but and this is this is a note for those that have a Switch. You can have it on lockdown from your credit card, but that's not a blanket lockdown for purchases.
Really?
So I had a lockdown on my credit card because I thought it was just blanket, but I didn't have it locked down on my PayPal. So he was able to just by clicking and buy now and probably luckily just hit PayPal. He doesn't know. He bought $100 credit.
Beautiful.
Which bought the game, which downloaded it to my Switch. And
really?
Boy, I was like, what you doing, buddy? He's like, just waiting to get this game. I was like, wait, what you mean? Wait to get what game? And I looked over and it was downloading some Pokemon game. And I was like, oh, no, wait. Okay, so wait, what happened? And then I look over, I check my email and my PayPal's like, you paid $100 to Nintendo. I was like, no, I didn't. And so I called.
That's what you think.
Yeah, exactly. I called Nintendo. They were great about it. I thought I was actually worried that they were going to be like, sorry, there's nothing we can do. You already downloaded it. But I was like, hey, I uninstalled it. I didn't even start the game. This is what happened. My kid, I didn't know that this wasn't a blanket lockdown. I thought it was like, hey, for purchases, you have to enter a code. And I was like, yes. And it was like, just for your credit card. I was like, oh, snap. So I went back in and did that. So hopefully whoever gives my Switch to their child for Christmas, they can't buy anything.
Right.
But just as a public service announcement there. So that's what I think Apple Arcade is for. I think it's for people that have kids. And I don't play enough mobile games to warrant $5 a month.
Neither do I.
For this. But I'm sure there's people out there like that don't get stuck on games like me and Tim have.
Right.
Yeah.
Or do either one.
Exactly.
As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let us not judge. It's 2019.
Right.
Edward.
Yes, sir.
Well, what you got, bruv?
Well, over on the Married to the Games YouTube channel, we didn't have this up there before. So we've got Far Cry 3 parts 1 through 4. The entire game.
Wow.
Is up over there. So I was surprised that we didn't have that.
That was probably before you came along.
It was, yeah.
That was back when I was supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
And we all know how that usually goes. Yeah.
Over on Game Pass.
I'm a strong start.
You got it.
I start strong. Yeah, it's that finishing that's always rough for your boy.
We all start strong, man. We've all been there, man.
That's right.
There are a lot of unfinished games over there. There are a lot of part 1 and 2.
Yeah, I love that.
Over on Game Pass, they've got Ticket to Ride on over there.
Is that a board game as well?
It is a board game.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
I've never played it, and so I started up the game on Game Pass. I was like, oh man, I heard this is really good. It's like Game of the Year and all that. And the instructions on the computer version or the Xbox version are horrible. I did not know what was going on.
Oh, really?
Really?
I will wait to learn it as it was meant to be played as a board game.
Oh, wow.
The way God intended.
Exactly. As Chris mentioned, December 17th, Untitled Goose Game hit Game Pass. So I can't wait to give that a try. Everyone's been talking about that game and loving that game, and that goose is everywhere.
He really is.
Honk.
I can't wait to figure out.
It's so true.
December 19th, which is today, as of an hour ago, Life is Strange 2, Episode 5, Pillars of Eternity, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on Game Pass as well.
I can't believe that. That is awesome.
Right?
That's awesome.
Get that.
Get that.
Oh, also, the Witcher series comes out on Friday on Netflix.
That's
Oh,
right.
look at that.
Yes.
Well, when you hear it, I am super excited about that now.
And episode 7 of Mandalorian's out now.
It is.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, every week we ask, thanks, Ed.
You bet.
Every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different, except that it was a tough one. We asked, what are your top 10 video games of this past decade, 2010 to 2019? Starting over at Twitter, we got Beer Money Vic at TheVic82. Honorable mentions are Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and The Last of Us. Number 10, God of War. Number 9, The Witcher. Wild
Nice.
Hunt. 8, Doom.
Oh,
7,
nice.
Ooh.
Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. That makes me so
Okay.
sad because I played the first one and loved it and forgot to play the second one. So if that one's that amazing. 6, here you go, Tim. Dead Space 2.
Yes.
5, Destiny. 4, BioShock Infinite.
Nice.
3, Persona 5, Edward.
Oh, yeah.
2, Borderlands 2.
Okay.
And number 1, and this is hard to disagree with even though I barely played it, Skyrim.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? So
Yep.
as I read these, you might be like, oh, I'm not hearing my name or whatever if you're used to hearing your name. I'm trying to pick top 10s that didn't sound like our top 10s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
smart.
You know what I'm saying? Just
Otherwise, we're just
yeah.
repeating ourselves.
yeah, just a little bit different here.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's
good.
We've got Brett T. Bowden at Hop Tonger. What up, Brett?
Nice.
Number 10, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End.
Uh-huh.
9, New Super Mario Brothers U.
Oh, okay.
Number 8, another game that I wish I would have got into. I played it a little bit, but I never didn't really get into it. Portal 2.
Oh,
A lot of
nice.
people love that
People
one.
love
Yeah.
that game. 7, God of War. 6, Far Cry 4.
Mm-hmm.
5, The Last of Us.
Nice.
4, this joke need Jesus, y'all.
Uh-oh.
Y'all send a prayer up for Brett.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 7 VR.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow, that's a brave man. Well done, Brett.
Yes, I played the demo, and that was it.
yeah, you did.
That's
I
all
remember
that was
that.
needed.
I'm about.
3, Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Thank
Nice.
you.
2, Alan Wake. Brett,
Ooh, nice.
somebody get him some oil over his house. I'm going to call TBN, send him some
That's
oil.
a brave
Drink some
man
holy
there.
water.
That's a brave me. I need to drink it for sure. Number 1, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
There you go.
Nice.
Lane Storm. Hey, Lane, maybe you could talk to Brett about getting Jesus.
Knock some sense in it.
Yeah, he didn't have his in numbered, so I don't know exactly which way these are going. I'm going to guess. Honorable mentions are Quantum Break, Mario Odyssey, Uncharted 3, and Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Nice.
I'm guessing this is number 10. I might have this completely flipped. 10, God of War. 9, Horizon Zero Dawn. 8, Halo Reach. 7, Gears of War 3. 6, this is a good one. I saw a lot all over the place. Abzu. Any of you guys play that?
I did not play
I
it.
did
I
play
think
it,
it was PS Plus at one point. You did play it,
Yeah.
Ed?
I did.
I did not. It was one of those ones that was like, oh yeah, I want to play that, pick that up at some point. And I
Yeah.
don't think I grabbed it the month I didn't add it to library or whatever.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
it in my head. But
Yep.
5, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like you guys said.
Nice.
4, Skyrim. 3, Batman Arkham City. 2, Smash Brothers Ultimate, which is just a good, so good. Number 1, Breath of the Wild. That's what I'm guessing. That's the order that was supposed to be in.
Okay.
Over on, let's do Facebook.
I was like, which one starts with a B?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say Discord, and then I switched over to Facebook. Okay, we've got Venomous Gaming. Number 10.
Wow.
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
Okay.
Yeah. 9, Just Cause 3. 8, Dying Light.
Mm-hmm.
7, The Last of Us. 6, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
5, Fallout 4.
Yep.
4, GTA 5.
There you go.
3, LA Noire.
Oh, good.
That was one of mine I toyed with.
Was it? It
Yep.
was that good, Ed?
It's good.
Especially at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looked amazing
That
for that
animation
time.
was amazing.
Yeah,
of,
that was
of just the face,
mocap
though.
stuff and everything. Yeah, it was great.
Connected to the head, there was a little break when it got around the collar.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Plus the fact that it had so many people from Mad Men in it kind of helped it out for me.
that's awesome. Number 2, Apex Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Nice.
Amen.
Amen and amen. Jeffrey Wright II. Hey guys, I'm new to the show,
Hey.
welcome.
but I'm loving it. It helps me get through the workday. Here's my list, just a few honorable mentions.
Glad to help through the workday.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what we are here for. Want to feel like, just your friends sitting around talking while you're working.
Exactly.
Honorable mentions, Minecraft keeps my kids quiet for about 30 minutes. I know that's right.
Nice.
Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
And this
Ooh,
one I
okay.
struggled not to put in my top 10, but I didn't play it enough. But because of its impact, I felt like I should have, but I didn't. Pokemon Go.
Ah.
That
man,
changed mobile gaming.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go. 10, Overwatch.
Nice.
9, Apex Legends. 8, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. 7, Fallout 4. 6, Red Dead Redemption 2. 5, GTA 5.
Mm-hmm.
4, Monster Hunter World.
Oh.
3, BioShock Infinite.
Nice.
2, Rainbow Six Siege. And 1, Skyrim. He said he 100%ed that game.
Mm.
There you go.
That's
Nice.
a big old game to 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That's for Shizzo. We'll go with Nick Schaefer from the MTTG community on Facebook. Honorable mentions are Beat Saber, only because I don't have a PSVR.
He knows what's
great.
good.
I don't know what
He
you're
knows
playing
what's
it on,
good.
Bishop.
He knows quality.
Exactly. And Magic the Gathering Arena on PC. Here we go. 10, Persona 4 Golden on the Vita.
Yeah.
Okay.
9, Skyrim, every system under the sun. 8, Dota 2. 7, Civilization 5. When did Dota 2 come out? That came out this generation? That's crazy.
Did it really?
This decade.
I mean, this decade,
Yeah.
that's nuts. I would have thought it would have been like 15 years ago.
I don't think so.
You're right, 2013.
Was that far back.
Yeah, 2013.
2010.
Was it?
Civ 5?
Yes, September 21st, 2010.
What are you guys talking about?
Wow.
No, I'm talking about Dota 2.
Oh, I thought
I
you
was
said
thinking
Civilization 5.
That was the last thing I read, but my eyes jutted back up to Dota 2. I was surprised that Dota 2 had came out this generation. Sorry, yeah, Civilization 5. Sorry, that was number 7. Number 6, God of War. Number 5, The Last of Us Remastered. Number 4, Mario Kart 8. Represent!
There you go.
Number 3, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Number 2, Destiny. Number 1, his number 1 game of the decade, Spider-Man for the PS4. I love it.
Look at that. I can't argue with
Bringing the
that.
heat.
Yeah,
What
there's
a-
nothing wrong with that.
No, what a game.
Mhm.
Let's go over to the Discord, shall we?
Mhm.
Okay.
Please do.
Yeah. This is one of Brad Kabowski, Morning Crew, or what used to be,
Yeah.
rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Hint. Cough, cough.
This is one of those, if you ask me a month from now, I'm pretty sure some of these
Yep.
would change. Honorable mention, Shadow of Mordor, God of War, and The Last of Us.
Yeah. Yes.
Number 10, Resident Evil 7. What is wrong with y'all?
Look at that.
In VR?
No, he didn't say VR on that one. I'm just saying,
Chicken.
period. Yeah, right. Hey, listen, I don't know if y'all remember, I played like 3 or 4 runs of Resident Evil 7. I at least gave it a try and was scared. I need to make like a clip of all the times we screamed in that game. Like, ah! Oh gosh, that game was so fun.
Yep.
Number 9, Final Fantasy 15. 8, Uncharted 4. 7, GTA 5. 6, Spider-Man. 5, Persona 5. 4, Destiny 2. 3, Overwatch 2. Skyrim. 1, The Witcher 3.
Nice.
Wow.
I didn't realize, I never knew Brad Kaboski was into Witcher and Skyrim like that. That's awesome.
I didn't either.
There you go. Boogie. I have to admit, this list is super hard, especially because I had a baby and got married in 2012, so my gaming time drastically went down. But this is my top 10 from the last decade.
Okay.
Number 10, Gran Turismo 6.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I like that, right? 9,
Yeah.
Clash of Clans. All right, I
look
see
at
you,
that.
Bishop, on the mobile. 8, Destiny. 7, Fallout 4. 6, Fortnite.
Uh-huh.
Don't hate this. This is a great game to play with long distance friends. I believe you.
Yeah, man.
I don't hate on Fortnite. Not like I did Minecraft.
Nah.
5, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. 4, Spider-Man. 3, Red Dead Redemption 2. 2, Last of Us. 1, Fallout New Vegas.
Ooh.
Really? All right.
Yeah, he says, of all these games, I put the most hours into it. Fallout New Vegas. I absolutely love it. And currently, the only on this list I would want a remaster, not including the recent ones. There you go.
Wow.
Wow. You know, when I was doing my list last week, when I mentioned Overwatch, I was like, it's the only game I've played over 300 hours. It's 788 hours.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Well played, sir. Well played indeed.
Last one I'll read, Calmed Fury. I've been keeping a running list of my top 50-ish games for years, so it made it easy to pull this together for the decade. 10, Portal 2. 9, The Last of Us. 8, South Park, The Stick of Truth.
Oh, nice. Yes.
7, Horizon Zero Dawn. 6, Destiny. 5, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. 4, Hearthstone.
Ooh.
Love that. 3, Mass Effect 3. 2, God of War. 1, Witcher 3, Wild Hunt.
Yes.
Man, thank you guys so much for answering our question of the week. I know this was a tough one. This week is not as tough. It's more of a look back, but this was really fun to read all these answers. And Jared put together this really cool thing on Twitter where he kind of graded the top 10 of, the ones that had come in from the community and kind of scored them as to where they fell within our community. Can I read that one real quick?
Yes,
Yeah,
please do.
I'll just read the top 10. And I think this was on, this was the stats of the favorite character that we talked about last week.
Yeah, he said he's doing favorite games in a couple days.
Okay, nice. So number 10, this is favorite characters according to the community, pretty much. Everybody who answered the questions, he graded them, said how many points they had. If they were, he said, I looked at all submitted lists across Discord, Twitter, and Facebook, and the hosts list, that's us. I assigned points to each person's list based on rank. 10 points for a number 1, 1 point for number 10, and obviously what's in between. Number 10, this is the community. Lee Everett.
Ooh,
Walking
nice.
Dead. I love that. 9, Aloy.
nice.
8, Madeline from Celeste. 7, GLaDOS from Portal.
That's amazing.
I love that. 6, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
5, Ellie.
Yeah.
4, John Marston.
Oof.
3, Joel.
Nice.
2, Nathan Drake.
Ooh.
And number 1, not even close, Kratos.
Wow.
Look at that.
I
Nice
mean,
job.
killed everybody by over 20 points, over 25 points.
Look at that.
So there's like a 25-point gap between first and second. There's like a 20-point gap in between second and third. And then the other ones are fairly close to each other.
That's amazing.
I personally feel bad that Mamir's not higher up on that list because I didn't even have him on there, and I totally
know.
whiffed
He's-
on that.
yeah,
that
he's-
was such a whiff.
I'm with you.
He's
I
down
forgot.
at 20. Yeah. So thank you, Jared, for doing that. That's really fun. I will be excited to read the game one. Next
that was
week.
awesome, dude.
Well, you know where to find us. Facebook.com. It was a long episode. Sorry, guys. Facebook.com/married to the games. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. Of course, marriedtothegames.com, where you can listen to every single episode of the podcast. You can take the 365 challenge if you want to, starting January 1. Maybe that should be your New Year's resolution.
Oh, man.
Ooh, I
Can
like
you
that.
imagine?
To listen to an episode of Married to the Games from January 1st to December 31st, I'll tell you what,
Wow.
you'd have a better year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I agree.
I'm just saying. I'm
Lots
not
of
saying.
laughs.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
Like Ed said, youtube.com/married to the games. On Patreon, if you'd like to throw $1 in the tip jar, we would so appreciate that. Patreon.com/married to the games. Sorry, patreon.com/MTTG. And I'm only going to mention this because I'm competitive. So please forgive me. You guys did great on our Extra Life goal this year. We were shooting for 10,000 as of the day of recording. We have raised $10,745,
Nice.
which is awesome. And it also ranks us at 108th team for Extra Life.
Woo.
I would love to break into the top 100.
Yes.
Dude,
So
yes.
the team at 100 right now is Dew Point Gamers. They're at $11,350. We're at $10,000, $700, a roundish.
Wow.
I'm not saying we could raise another $700,
I am. Yes, we can.
but hey, I'm going to be putting the tweet out there, and this is strictly because of my competitive nature and knowing that it goes towards a good cause. So it's not like I'm getting the money.
Right.
And the praise doesn't come to Gabe. It comes to the Married to the Games team.
Yeah.
So just so you hear me clearly. But it is my competitive nature seeing that we're so close to the top 100 teams across
Yep.
all of Extra Life. And I think that Married to the Games deserves to be in that top 100 because you guys are amazing. Anytime
You
I tell
guys, yep.
anybody about this podcast, you guys are who I brag on first.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing that out there.
Yep.
All right. Tim.
Rate us on iTunes so we can watch the final chapter of the acclaimed trilogy, Gingerbread Man 4.
That's Ginger Dead Man.
That's why I wrote that and I just said it wrong. Ginger Dead Man 4. The Return of Chubby Ninja Switch. R.I.P.
I know. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Rest in
I'm
peace.
so sad
Yeah.
for you, man. That sucks.
I just can't even believe it.
You know what really sucks is that someone's out there angry there's not a charger with it.
Right?
I know.
It's like, be grateful for what you have.
I hope they
That's
own an
right.
iPhone so they don't already have a USB-C charger.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Perfect. I like that.
Here we go. Well, let's get into some questions.
All right, discard Burnaby. Discard. Discard.
Oh, let's not discard
No,
Burnaby.
let's not discard Burnaby. We're
Yeah.
gonna pick him up.
I thought you were working on your Lifeline voice.
That's
Here goes your birthday present. Starting on the discard.
Pick a card, any card.
Oh, you want discard?
Discard.
You sure you want to stay with discard?
it could be my pirate one too. You never know. The discard. All right, Burnaby Butterteeth. What is the plan for Christmas? I'm going down to visit mom. All right, let me stop. What is the plan for Christmas? I'm going down to visit mom at Mexico. She is now on chemo number 5.
Wow.
And recovering little by little.
All right now.
My gift.
Yep.
My gift is my presents because dang, those plane tickets are expensive.
I know
sir.
that's right.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, I'll tell you what, those plane tickets are expensive. What's not that expensive, though, are flowers. Just
There you go.
take some
Yeah.
flowers, man. Just take some flowers if they sell them at the airport or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be
and-
thinking about your mother. That's that's
definitely
amazing.
That is some that's real life stuff.
Emo number 5.
Yes.
Jeez, what a fighter.
That's right. As we know, we've seen Ed's mom come through some stuff.
Yep.
Hallelujah. Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The plan, man. I'm the exact opposite from you. My family is, or at least our moms are all here, and so we will be staying our tails right here in Nashville for Christmas. But my mom is actually going to be with her dad in San Francisco, so I won't be with my mom and brother. They'll be out at San Francisco with her dad.
Oh, cool.
And we'll be here. Yeah.
Nice.
Who else? Chris?
We will be going to Oklahoma to spend time with Stacy's family. And then when we come back, we'll be seeing, well, actually, I guess technically speaking, I think on Christmas Eve, it's either Christmas Eve or it's that following Friday. We're going to be seeing my stepmother and my sister. But then we'll go to Oklahoma, and then it'll be my mom's side of the family for my family. And I think that's it. There's a lot for me to keep up with because of all of the back and forth. But yeah.
All the moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Edward?
Yeah, nothing major. We're staying here. We'll probably get together with the Tapmans for a day, and we'll probably get together with my dad and my brother for a day, but nothing huge.
Nothing crazy. Tim?
Nice. Yeah, we're here. In fact, we have the Router family Christmas this Sunday, where my parents and then my brother and his family, we all get together because my parents will then go up to Wilmington, Delaware to visit my aunt over Christmas. And then we're just, honestly, it is the final stretch for Lauren at the store. Like come Christmas Eve at like 4:00 when she shuts down, like after that, we try and veg out that whole week. That's kind of like her break of the year where she just gets to relax and not do much. And she's not going to be in the store very much. So it's a good time to catch up on shows and me for video games and just be together and chill out. So it'll be nice.
Love it.
Yep. Merrymaker Beefmaster, do you have any Christmas traditions that are unorthodox or weird? Like Ed opening gifts immediately instead of waiting.
Hey, man.
Hey, it worked, didn't it?
It works.
Yeah, your jealousy showing.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
We don't have any weird ones. We go down to Opryland every Christmas. It started as my birthday thing, because my birthday is right next to Christmas, but it's kind of grown into just like a season thing that we do because they do all the lights and everything down at Opryland, and so we go down and see the lights. But yeah, nothing too weird. We're definitely light hunters though. We go around and search for houses with lights.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you got anything weird y'all do?
No, I don't. There's not really anything odd or out of the ordinary at all that I can think of that we do. It's just pretty much the typical stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Ed?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, starting this year, we're taking pictures of us enjoying our presents early and sending them to Beefmaster Serta.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
I like
you
that.
are.
Tim, you
That's
guys don't do anything weird, do you?
Well, for the Router family Christmas, we always make the spaghetti from Elf with like the.
Oh, that's funny.
And then one of us,
that's
or
great.
several of us, have to actually try and eat it, and it's actually not that bad.
Whoosh.
The spaghetti and maple syrup and what else is in that thing?
It's spaghetti,
Soda?
maple syrup. No, it's spaghetti, maple syrup. There is a little tomato sauce in there, but we kind of cut that back a little bit. There's marshmallows, M&Ms, and the chocolate Pop-Tarts on the top that he crumbles in. And then we mix it all in together.
Wow. We did watch that the other night.
It is awesome.
A great movie.
Yeah, it's great. Great question. Thanks for that. Mark Boucher, ever had the holiday blues? And if so, how did you cure it?
Yeah. This year, me and Chris going through them old holiday blues. There's people not here that's supposed to be here. For me and Jenny, man, we really sat down and I mean, it was a serious conversation. We were like, all right, we can rock this thing one of two ways. We can be sad this whole season and let what has happened totally ruin it because it is unexpected and awful.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Or for our family, I've never been home this long. Ever in our whole marriage. In 12 and a half years of being married, I've never been home this much. So we're like, we could either be sad like we feel like we should be because we feel guilty every time we laugh, or we could go into this thing like, you know what? I'm home. Let's take as much advantage of this as possible. Let's go see lights. Let's go to Opryland. Let's like spread it out. And, you know, we hosted Thanksgiving. You know, she did the turkey, you know, all this stuff that we might not have done if I was on and off the road around that time. And so, man, this is going to sound weird, but we just like buckled down and chose joy.
Nice.
Which I know is weird because it's not always in our control. Some things are just too sad to overcome. But like we just chose it. We chose that we were like, we're not gonna hang our heads this whole season. Number one, the two people that passed away in our lives that were close wouldn't want it that way. These were the most jovial, joking around people that we know. And so we know that in her father's memory and in Truett's memory, they would both hate if we were like, oh, some. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's for us. Chris, what about you, buddy? You in the same boat?
I don't honestly know how it's going to go until it happens.
Yep.
So
that sounds perfectly understandable.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, works. Yeah, I'm going in with the plan to look at things and. Yeah, this is not ideal, but remember the good and all this and that. But, you know, reality is not always that. So
that's right. Sure.
I will report back next week.
Afterwards. Yeah.
Right. Or a week after next. Because,
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. It's a good note. Totally makes sense.
I'm with you, Gabe. If I can, I want to choose joy. You know, so there are many times the holidays always bring a lot of stress at times to people and just, you know, what are we going to get and can we afford it and all this other stuff. And at some point you just got to be like, look, I've got my girls with me. I've got my health with me. And, you know, I like that phrase, choose joy. I think that's great because it is, you know, it is a season of giving. Everyone kind of has more of a giving heart. And I love that. And it's, you know, I don't, you know, I haven't been through the situations that you guys have been through. And so it's just one of those things. If you can choose joy and, you know, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Ed, you ever had a weird Christmas?
Not really like Christmas blues or whatever, but I don't think that there's a lot that watching Charlie Brown or those Rankin Bass specials can at least give you a little pep in your step.
Yeah, for sure. Those are so, and they're just so classic, right? That it kind of lets the world fall. I felt like that's how it was when we watched Elf the other day. You just kind of felt the world fall away just a little bit. You know, and laughter does that, right? That's why we love, you know, me and Ed love to make people laugh because we know in that split second, that's all that matters is that you're laughing. You don't think about anything else.
Yep.
So, yeah, good question. That's a tough one. Yeah.
All right, we'll end with this one on Twitter. Adam Watson, have you ever been caught in a compromising situation while playing a game? I remember playing The Witcher 3 and realizing too late that my 4-year-old was in the room enjoying the game with me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I can still hear his lispy question. Why she got bleed on her?
Bleed.
Why she got bleed on her?
That's
I love
funny.
that. That's really, really funny.
I haven't had that happen yet, but back in our old house, my console was in the bonus room. And our bonus room was more like just like a lofty area. Like there was no door and there was no back wall. It was just like the top of the steps kind of, you took a left and kind of just stepped up into this platform that was the bonus room. And I had Redboxed, back when Redbox did video games, I Redboxed Grand Theft Auto 5 because I was like, well, let's see what all the hubbub is about to be about. And I want to be able to talk about this on the podcast from a perspective of having at least played it. And man, I got like a couple side missions into that thing and I was like, oh, snap. Oh, please, Jesus, don't let nobody walk up these steps because I don't have a door to close. And so, I felt like that was the closest I got to being in a very precarious situation, having to do a lot of splaining to my wife about what exactly those polygons was doing.
That's right.
That's really funny. Chris, you ever been caught in a precarious situation?
Not caught in one per se, but I feel like I ran into some of the same concerns, but with San Andreas.
Oh, really? Same kind of
nice.
thing?
Oh, that's funny.
Same kind of like, ooh, mom don't want to know. I'm playing this.
Hot chocolate.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
What about you, Edward?
Not really, just because, I mean, Sarah and I are both adults.
Yeah.
And she also knows that poorly rendered cross-eyed people don't really do it for me.
Oh my gosh.
There's been a couple times she's walked in, Far Cry 3 being one of them.
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
She saw, and it's just like, it's almost humorous.
Yeah.
That
Yes,
it's like,
of course.
they're really trying to make a moment here, and it's just kind of funny, you know.
This
So
is not reality.
Not going over well.
yeah,
Tim?
That's really funny. Yeah, not really for me either. And I'm fortunate though because I game super early or I'll game late. But you know, if Piper has come up, that's why. And Gabe, I see you do it all the time with your headphones. I still have one ear available in the headphones.
Yeah.
And just kind of
Just in
shift it
case,
a little
Bishop.
bit, just in case you hear something. And I have heard that before. But I mean, I wasn't playing anything crazy. But it's just, you know, if there's something that I know. Like if she were to walk in on Bloodborne and be like, okay, well that might scar her a little bit,
Yes,
so we'll switch that up. But but yeah, no, I've been pretty decent with that, which is good.
There you
But
go.
I always find those situations hilarious though.
They
'cause it's like,
are hilarious.
It's a video game. Like, how are you going to explain it? And just like, well, here it is. This is what the developers came up with.
right.
So, anyway, that's it for all the questions. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you guys. So we've asked this question before at this time of year. One year we even had you guys send in audio recordings of this, and if I would have thought about this early enough, we would have done that. But we wanted to revisit your first memories of gaming. And the reason we're asking this question is because next week is our Christmas episode, and what better time to talk about these kind of things? Because not usually, but a lot of times, people's first memories of video games starts at Christmas. And so I want us to all take ourselves back to when we first started gaming and remember that this Christmas, there's going to be kids that are introduced to gaming for the first time in their lives, just like some of us were. And so I think it's like, what's the matter? Is that stupid?
No. I was totally gonna make a joke about some kid that found a Switch in a car, but I was like, I don't want to put salt in the wound.
Too soon.
I'm getting loopy, man. I'm getting really tired. I'm like,
No, that's really funny, Chris.
sorry.
That's good.
But it is true that there's gonna be kids that get their first systems this Christmas, and this thing of the video game and the community is gonna be opened up for them for the first time next week. So I want to hear about where you guys gamed for the first time, your first console, what your first memories were. We've done this before, so you've heard this from us, but we're gonna be parroting ourselves a little bit. Edward, your first gaming experiences, do you remember it?
I remember on an old black and white TV, we had Pong.
Really?
Yeah. But really our first console was the Atari 2600.
Yes.
And my best memory of that is the fact that when it came out, it was $199, which when you take into inflation as
that was a
of
lot.
2018,
Yeah, that's expensive.
it was $822.
Oh my gosh, that's with inflation, $822?
And
Wow.
so we didn't have money as a kid. And so I've been able to, as an adult, look back and really appreciate just how much and how long they were saving up to get an Atari for us.
Wow.
And it really means a lot to me as an adult now, able to look back and appreciate, you know, having to pay bills and save and dole money out myself. It's just like, wow, I don't know how they did it.
That's huge.
He probably
huge.
stole that.
Aw.
He found it in a rental car.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah. Shoot.
Oh man.
Exactly right. What about you, Chris?
I'm not sure I can remember my first gaming experience, but my first gaming system that I owned was the NES.
Yep.
And it just opened a whole new world for me. 'Cause
Yes.
from then on, it was like,
Yes.
this is what I'm doing. Until my
Yeah.
brief little
Nice.
stint where I didn't do it for a while because I was racing cars, but then I started doing it again.
Yeah, you were right
Nice
back.
again.
I can't get a ticket for this.
Yep.
That's awesome. Tim?
So I'm gonna go when I was older, just because we didn't growing up we didn't have consoles. Like I would always play something over at my friends, but really like the first real one that I ever really owned was the Wii, and we got that for Christmas, and I remember just playing Wii Sports. I was down in the TV room up in New Jersey with Lauren and her brother and me, and we were just playing tennis and like all kinds of stuff. And we were all just like, this is really stinking cool.
Yes.
And that's kind of what got the motors going to be like, consoles, huh? This is kind of neat. And that's kind of how it all started for me. And that was even before I got the PlayStation 3. So
Wow.
yeah, it was really cool. So yes, it was. I came in older, and B, at Christmas time is really when it got into it. And I'm kind of excited this year because, spoiler, she's not listening, but Piper's going to have a Nintendo Switch for Christmas.
Ooh.
And so I'm pretty excited for her and see what she does with that.
Well, what a coincidence. Gabe
I
loses
think
his
you
and
should really
Piper
just
gets
give
a
it
new
to
one.
Gabe. Yeah.
I know, right? I really should.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
If-
Oh,
Thanks, Gabe.
yeah.
If you're a real friend.
What color
That's
are those
right.
Joy-Cons, Tim? What's that
Yeah.
case look
You
like?
might want to etch your name into the back of it.
There's a GP on the back on here.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what that's all about.
I should have put a if lost contact inside the
That's
case.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So they could feel guilty for stealing it.
Nice timing. That's right.
My first memories are you know what's weird is I know I played games before this, but my first memories are really the Genesis. So I had both the Genesis and the NES back in the day when my parents were married and we were doing all right. And I got one for doing good in school and I got the other at the holidays.
Yeah.
And so I just don't remember which is which, but I do remember Altered Beast scaring the crap out of me to where my parents
Yeah.
had to take it back. And then I remember we got the Mario Brothers Duck Hunt track and field combo
Yeah, man.
with the power pad. And my dad used to whoop me mercilessly at the track and field where he did not let up. And you know what's funny? That junk has trickled down. If Amara
Yeah.
wants to play
Yeah.
tic-tac-toe, she getting beat. And so as bad as I
That's
feel
funny.
like, I'm like, man, well, why did my dad not let up on me on track and field? And here I am whooping my daughter and tic-tac-toe whenever I get the chance.
There you go.
Make them stronger, make them
Yep.
better. And so, yeah, my first memories was playing Mario Brothers and track and field with my dad and playing Duck Hunt and not understanding how in the world that gun worked because there was no sensor. You know, now we
Yeah.
know that, the screen goes black for a frame and the white dot and all this business. But like back then, I had no idea how that thing worked. And it just seemed like magic. Like, yeah, you aim it at the TV and you just shoot and it works. And
Yep.
then that befuddled me once the Power Glove came out. And I'm like, wow, I got to put this huge contraption up the side of my TV and all across the top. It had this weird thing that came with. But yeah, man, those are my first memories playing. I think we lived in Glendale, California at the time. And yeah, freaking rocking it. I was saying with Chris, I was like, well, I'm never not doing this
Yeah.
for the rest of my life. Loved
That's
it
amazing.
from day one. So you guys let us know your first gaming memories. Let's take a peek back. Let's appreciate that this coming week is going to be the start of this love affair with some kids and their video games. And hopefully 30 years from now, they're going to be talking about it, asking questions on their own podcasts. Maybe they've taken over this one
Look at that.
since we got old and crabby. Said these kids can have it then if they want it.
That's right.
Let us know. We'll talk about it next week. 379
Nine.
in the books. Don't watch any of the movies I recommended earlier. I'm Gabe
Aw.
Patillo. That is Tim Roberts. That's Ed Placencia. That's Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games. And we are up out this thing. Peace!